Just about ready to go here at Nashville Superspeedway. Field of 43, drivers all getting buckled in. Hey, the Easter Bunny's here. Now, okay, that's Brad Parrott, crew chief, getting ready to go to work for the 09 car today. After a foggy and chilly start today, the mostly sunny, low 60s weather forecast appears ready to actually happen. 58 degrees now. Good thing the weather's starting to clear off. It's just in time for the race to start.
Yes, sir. I say, Brad, you got the ears on.
Yeah. All right, enough of this. Let's head upstairs. Doc and DJ have the day off. Rusty has made it in record time to join Andy Petrie and Marty Reed. Hi, Marty.
Hey, glad to be with you guys. Thanks, Alan. And let's talk a little bit more about the weather because it's a little cooler than it was yesterday in practice. How's that going to affect the race?
Well, the weather's been a factor since we got here to Nashville, and it looks like this cloud cover is going to burn off. The track is going to get warmer. It's going to change. It'll start taking a little bit of rubber, and these guys are going to have to adjust on their cars to keep up with that racetrack, and I think whoever does the best job of that will be the guy that'll have the best shot at getting in victory lane.
And remember, Carl Edwards said in our pre-race show, you have to have a perfect car to win at this track. Carl now has his first pole to go with 3 wins here. What's that spell for everybody else?
It's not good for everybody else. I can tell you that. I mean, this guy is really focused. He's got a fast car, and you know, usually he's got to go back and forth from the Cup race to the Nationwide race. He's been here all week long, focused, paying attention. I think he's going to have a good run.
Yeah, but let's point out one thing. The last 5 times, the pole sitter has finished outside the top 10, so that's not the one good note for Carl. Who's the other guys that we should be looking at out of that front group?
Well, how about Kyle Busch? I mean, he's going to be the guy that is going to really put the hurting on these guys, and especially Carl Edwards. He's not going to look too much past him. If he sees that car in his mirror, he's going to be paying attention.
Well, I thought he was going to talk about first-time winners because you mentioned it in the pre-race show down in the studio, in the pit studio, that we've had 7 of them here.
Yeah, we have had 7 first-time winners, Marty, and I think it can happen again. Now, look, I don't know who it's going to be, but there's a lot of good young guys out there that have been around for a while now and are ready for their first win.
Well, I was going to say Ricky Stenhouse, but then we found out he's going to be going to the rear, and that's going to make that a bit more challenge. Take a look at that list, and the only pole sitter to win the race ever here in 15 was Reed Sorensen back in March of 2005. So will Carl be able to become the second to win from the pole? Well, we're about to find out, as it's about time to go trackside to get ready for the command to start engines. There's Joey Logano. He'll be starting on the outside of row number 1 alongside of Carl Edwards, and in row number 2 it'll be McDowell and Busch. So let's go trackside now to get this show on the road for 225 laps here at the Nashville Superspeedway.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, what you've been waiting for from Mr. Vince Cherry, the president of University Medical Center.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Start new fuel before lap 30. Don't on lap 30.
No, don't worry about it. Can we put fuel in there too, Billy, or just tires, or what they say?
Rock and roll, go get him.
And of course, our in-race reporter this week will be the rookie Justin Allgaier. He's leading the Ray Bestis rookie points. There he is. And if you want to get a chance to talk to him, well, all you have to do is log on to ESPN.com. We'll talk to him when Well, in case you missed it earlier today in our qualifying show, Carl Edwards made a statement, turning in a fast lap of 29.1 seconds at 164.5 miles an hour to claim his first ever Nashville pole, his 13th in his career. And he'll have a host of 42 others coming after him, including Joey Logano, Michael McDowell, Kyle Busch. There you see the group as they are lined up along the front straightaway. You'll get the full field across the top of your screen, and you'll be able to find out exactly where your favorite driver is located. And there's Justin Allgaier, as he is going to be our in-race reporter. Let's get a chance to talk to him, Rusty.
Justin Allgaier, Rusty Wallace, ESPN, you got us.
He got you loud and clear.
Justin, you know, there's been 7 Nationwide drivers here that have won their first race. Hey, do you have a good enough car that this could be your day?
Oh, definitely. I think the Verizon Wireless Dodge is going to be a really good car today. We made a lot of changes after practice was over yesterday, so I think that we're going to have a really good car at the end of the race today.
All right, we've got an ESPN.com mailbag question for you, Justin. It comes from Don in Battle Creek, Michigan. The question is, how do you gain respect from other drivers this early in your nationwide career?
I think the biggest thing that I've had to do over my career was, just try to make sure that I raced everybody like I wanted to be raced, make sure I raced them clean. And I think that if you do that each and every week, that the other drivers, whether they're Cup regulars or nationwide regulars, will really respect that.
All right, buddy, you have a great race. Now, Andy's going to talk to your crew chief, Chad Water.
Guys, have a great day. And wanted to say that our thoughts and prayers are with all the tornado victims here around the area and also everybody overseas.
Hey, Chad, Andy Petrie in the booth. Have you got us?
Yeah, 10-4, Andy. Loud and clear.
Hey, Chad, you guys were pretty impressive in that garage yesterday, making a lot of changes to that race car. And you got something out of it. You got a top 10 starting spot. But exactly how do you expect this racetrack to change today, and how are you going to adjust for it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. These guys in the Penske Racing Verizon's Wireless Dodge worked their tails off and got a lot of adjustments in. The racetrack, typically when you start to lay some rubber down on a fresh racetrack like it is now, it just gets a little more slick. You need to look for some grip. So usually tire pressure is a real key item here, and it'll probably tighten up as the race goes on. And that's usually an air pressure thing as well, and having a good driver that goes out and finds some grip.
Hey, Chad, you're talking about tires, and they're going to have a competition caution in 30 laps. Is that because of tire wear with the green racetrack?
Yeah, exactly right, Andy. There were a lot of guys yesterday that they were cording the right rear tires, and when you get a green racetrack like this with, it takes a few laps to get all the rubber built into the racetrack, and so the tires wear out a little bit faster. So NASCAR has given us the good graces of a competition caution to come down and make sure nobody has any problems that are going to be a big problem a few laps later. So lap 30, we're looking to come down pit road.
Okay, Chad, thanks for letting us hang out with you and talk to you, and have a good race. Good luck.
10-4, Andy. Thank you very much.
All right, let's check in with all of our onboards. Obviously, we have one with our in-race reporter, Justin Allgaier, but 7 others, and there you get the complete list. And so we'll have just about the entire width and breadth of the field covered from front to back, as we'll get some great views as we get closer to the start of this race. How about over-the-wall reporter? 6th year he's been climbing over the wall with one of our HD cameras strapped to his helmet. John Reese, the jackman on Jason Keller's number 27.
John, you look like you're ready to go down there. Just, one question I've got for you, John, is you have 2 jobs on this pit crew. You're on the pit crew as a jack man, and you're also the car chief. What are the challenges that go with doing 2 jobs on the team?
It faces a lot of challenges, but it's okay because, being a car chief, you go from first of the from front to back, and then being a jack man, it keeps everybody motivated. So it's all good.
Well, good. Hope you be safe down there. Have good pit stops, and good luck today.
Thanks.
All right, let's get our final report from pit lane before we go green. Shannon Spake, you're up.
Well, Marty, nationwide only driver Ricky Stenhouse Jr. for Roush Fenway making his debut here today. And as if that wasn't pressure enough, after qualifying 5th, he now has to go to the back of the field. Let me show you why. During qualifying, this is his valence. He ran something over, caused this damage. The team knew that they were going to have to make the adjustment sometime in the race, so they decided to make the change before the race started. And of course, unapproved adjustments means the back of the field. But the team's still confident. They said, think of what a better story it's going to be. We now finish in the top 10. Dave?
Shannon, the 100th Nationwide Series win for Jack Roush is available, and Stenhouse could be a rookie who gets that for him today. 2 other drivers, including Carl Edwards and David Reagan, also have an opportunity to give Jack number 100. Now, Reagan says he'd like to do it because of all the drivers that have come before him in this series. Martin, Burton, Biffle, Edwards, and Kenson. That's a big list. He wants to be on it, and he wants number 100. Jamie?
Well, Dave, a lot of people at the racetrack today affected by the tornado yesterday. Perhaps most notably, Baker Curb Racing, the 27 car in today's field. They're located right here in Nashville. Now, Butch Waugh right here, he actually lives in Murfreesboro. That's the area most hard hit by the tornado yesterday. We want to report his house, family are okay, but on his behalf, the team's behalf, they have said that if they win today's race, they will donate the Dash for Cash $25,000 to the American Red Cross. Marty?
And that's a great gesture on their part, and we wish Jason and the team well. Let's quickly set up a race analysis because, as we mentioned, 225 laps in pit speed. Don't go faster than 45. We'll give you a ticket.
Yeah, don't go slower either, or we'll get behind.
60 to 70 laps is the pit window, and there you get the idea of how steep the corners are. Just 14 degrees as we get ready to go racing. Let's talk about sleepers. What do you like?
Well, I was going to pick Stenhouse, but he's going to the rear. You know what? I'm still going to pick him.
Right.
I think he's going to come up through there. He's got a good car, great team, and I think this guy's got what it takes.
I tell you what, guys, I got to pick Kelly Byers. He's driving that Kevin Harvick number 33 car. We know that car's won this year. It's a fast car. He's got a good opportunity to get something done today.
Well, 2 other cars went to the rear, Jeremy Clements and Tony Raines. They also had unapproved changes, so 3 total to the rear of the field as we come out of turn number 4. And as we come down to the front straightaway, Carl Edwards brings them to the starting line with Joey Logano on the outside of the front row. And the 6th race on the 2009 Nationwide Series Tour is about to go green. High line seems to be working for Joey Logano down the backstretch. Carl gives him a little nudge upside, but here we go into 3.
Well, he's giving him a run for it, isn't he, Rusty?
Well, he's hanging in that outside groove. I started to say there's no rubber out there. This cat's got to be comfortable and careful because that second groove is treacherous right now.
That's all we heard about was how that bottom groove is so much better than that outside groove. But right here, Joey Logano working it great. Slips a little bit right there. Coming off turn 2, looks like Carl's going to get the lead.
Well, he sailed into turn 1, Marty, overdrove that corner and let him just get Carl just got gone on that one.
Well, and I think if you remember back to Texas, these guys got together late in the race, cost Carl a bundle of points, thought Joey didn't give him enough room. Maybe that's why at the first corner we sort of saw him coming up a little bit saying, remember me?
They might be thinking about that. I'm pretty sure they're over that now, though.
Okay, now you see Kyle Busch is on the inside of Michael McDowell. He was on the outside there. Didn't seem to make that work, but he makes the pass right there pretty easily on the bottom.
So move Kyle from 4th up to 3rd, move McDowell back to 4th, and all of a sudden now we sort of see a single file starting to form. Boy, look at that 47. The front end seemed to be sticking up.
Definitely a difference there. I noticed that right off the bat. You see the 47 car carrying the nose on the straightaway. You know, it's down in the corners, but that carrying the nose on the straightaway can hurt you a little bit.
But you know, Andy, when he qualified, that thing was taped off in the front and that nose was way low. That's how big a difference these cars, how that air affects them. You pull that tape off, that nose gets sky high.
Saw Mike Bliss in the number 1 right behind him. Stuck his nose in earlier in the lap, but now has fallen back into line. Right behind Bliss is Stephen Wallace in 6th, Kelly Byers in 7th. We're on board with Bliss. Let's go back and you take a look at the battle for 12th place, the 29, as
Brendan Gaughan gets up
got
a little
around
bit out
really. Brendan got up a little bit high there.
Tell you what, Brendan Gaughan, he runs a high line everywhere he goes. I mean, if anybody's going to go to the top right off the bat, it's definitely going to be Brendan. That's just the way he drives.
Well, Light was able to pull away. You're on board with Brad Keselowski as he also got around in the 88.
Got a caution coming to lap 30 we talked about. So these guys are going to try to, you know, run as hard as they possibly can, find out what they need in their cars for that next pit stop.
Well, here come the Joe Gibbs Racing teammates, and that's a battle for 2nd now. Joey Logano has it, and Kyle Busch wants it.
And you see Kyle looking for some grip here, just searching around the racetrack. He's trying to find some clean air, too. If he lines up right behind Joey, he doesn't get the advantage of having that little extra downforce. So he's trying to find a place that maybe it'll work a little better. That didn't work through that corner. He lost some ground to Joey.
You know, Andy, he made a lot of comments earlier about the grinding of this racetrack, how it's really been upsetting his driving style. And, you know, it just made me wonder if he moved up that 2nd lane to try to find a little bit different lane that's maybe not ground so much, or else maybe ground more. That suits his liking.
And let's check in once again with Brendan Gaughan, because he's got himself a bit of a loose race car. And take a look at Scott Wimmer there, as Wimmer has picked up a total of 9 spots so far in that 40 car, and he's underneath the 62.
I'll tell you what, Brendan was just really excited about the way his car was handling in practice. So, I mean, we had some rain last night. The track's pretty green right now. I really think when it rubbers up, this whole thing's going to change and the car's going to handle way different.
Yeah, it is. It seems like we've just never had any consistent weather to try to get these cars dialed in. Don't know what to expect because we've had so many changes. And it's changing right now. It's getting warmer as we go. Brendan making that high line work for him.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how many guys are able to stick up there.
Yeah, Marty, you're exactly right. I mean, when I saw Kyle Busch up there and I saw Joey Logano in that first lap, I'm like, wow. I can't believe these guys have got this groove working, but remember one thing, like we talked earlier, this track is ground. It's got more grip in some spots, and guys are taking advantage of some of those areas.
I think that's one reason Kyle Busch has a little problem with that, because he can take his car so close to the edge on that ground part. He is all the way up against the edge of grip, so when he loses that, he loses that grip. Maybe quicker than some of the other guys.
That's a really good point. You know, we know that Kyle Busch is a guy who drives his car really loose. It's right on the edge all the time.
This is where the best racing on the track is going on. You're not missing anything up front. And want to check in on Ricky Stenhouse as he is near the back of this freight train. We'll zero in on him. He's in the 16th. He has already picked up 12 spots, guys. There he is. Remember, started in the back of the field. Young kid's doing good.
You just got to get to lap 30, get as many spots as possible. Don't ding up the fenders. Don't bang it up any. Just be methodical about bringing it to the front.
He's doing a good job right now, but one thing he'll find out right away, the farther he gets up, the tougher it gets.
He cleared Shelby Howard. Whoa, got a little contact there as the 09 has John West Townley and Ken Butler got together in the 23. No harm, no foul for either one, but a bit of a moment. Take a look at the battle for 6. That's David Reagan in the 6, Mike Bliss in the number 1. We've got some great action going on all around this track in the early go of this race on lap 11. Bliss clears him.
Mike Bliss and that team, he had a meeting or two this week about some changes they need to make this team better. So they have made some of those changes. You know, they got a new spotter on the roof. Steve Barkdahl's up there. You know, it looks like it's working pretty good for them, but they need to try to get their performance level just a little bit higher.
Take a look at the 33 of Kelly Byers and Michael McDowell. As Byers clears and gets around him.
Tell you, Byers just got to take advantage of this opportunity he's got with Kevin Harvick right now. We know that's a good car. Tell you, Kelly's flying out there. He's all the way up to 4th position right now. Making a lot of passing up off the corners, off of turn 2 and off of turn 4, we're noticing.
He's picked up 6 positions, started 10th, is now in 4th.
Now Bliss gets another spot right there. You see Michael McDowell struggling just a little bit with that car.
Let's go on board with Justin Allgaier. He's got David Reagan right in front of him and Stephen Wallace right behind him, and that is a battle for position. 7th, 8th, and 9th between the 3 of them. Let's go back and check in with our race leader, Carl Edwards. He's led every lap so far. He's got a 7/10 of a second lead over Joey Logano. Kyle Busch is close in pursuit in 3rd. Kelly Byers and Mike Bliss round out your top 5 after 13 laps here at Nashville. Back here at Nashville, and Joey Logano has said, wait a minute, Carl, you may have won the pole, but I'd like to lead a lap, and he has just taken the lead just as we come back from break. And he becomes our 2nd leader here early in the race.
Walk the dog.
They're starting to approach slower traffic, so they're going to be getting into some lap vehicles here pretty soon. That's Benny Gordon. They're coming on to put a lap down. Let's go back and take a look.
Just a moment ago, you see the 20 car has been tracking Carl down just a little bit every lap, and I think Carl said, okay, you're a little faster than me right now. I'm going to let you go and see what you've got.
Hey, what, he's got a good handling car right now, Joey does. But one thing I've noticed, Andy, is that the sun is out on this racetrack right now for the first time in 2 days. And a lot of these cars started off loose, and they're starting to change a little bit. And I think that's what's going on with Carl right now, a loose race car.
Yeah, that's why he's not pushing it. He knows they're going to have a caution here in just a few laps. About 10 more laps, they're going to come in and make a change. He wants to kind of see, I'm sure he just kind of wants to see what Joey Logano has for a car.
Yeah, just got to free it up a little bit, rolling down. Pretty good on the gas. Just a tick 3 off of forward, just barely.
And that was Carl's radio.
That's some good information. He says he's just a little bit free off, but he wants to be freer yet. I think he's kind of anticipating the track tightening up some more, too.
Man, that's something else when you get past and you run it loose and you want it looser. But he knows how to drive a loose car. I guess he knows what he's doing. I mean, we know he knows what he's doing.
Let's go check on 10th place right now. And Bernie Lamar's got his hands full with the 38 of Leffler, and Leffler goes under him.
The teammates racing together, and you see Stephen Light coming into the picture there.
Yep, Light in the 29.
And Brad Keselowski.
Keselowski in the 88, and Kes is right underneath, and Keselowski looking to take the spot, and whoa, don't come down too much. And going into 1, he's going to finish it. So move Brad up another spot. And boy, how big was last week at Texas for the driver of the 88 car?
Yeah, that was impressive, really was. I mean, he started in the back after going to a backup car with 0 practice, which is hard to do, and he contended for the win.
Well, we're at lap 24, and we have a competition yellow coming up at lap 30, and we want to be there when that occurs. So we're going to take a quick break here as you continue to look at what's happening with Joey Logano in front of Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch a full second behind the race leader. That's the top 3. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Nashville 300. We're at, well, working lap 28 coming up on the competition caution, but boy, it's been fast and furious because of lap traffic. As you can see, there's a new second place. Kyle Busch has gotten around the 60 of Carl Edwards, and they are duking it out, trying to work their way through all this traffic.
Yeah, and the reason it's so hard for them is these cars that are going a lap down don't want to do that because they know a caution's coming out right now, and they're trying to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, they just can't give up right now. They got to drive their guts out. I mean, anytime this caution's going to be coming out lap 30, like we said, and that's nervous time for the guys about to get lapped.
There's Kenny Wallace. He's the first car 1 lap down right now, and he's going to fight hard to stay in that spot.
Caution's out.
And the caution has now come out here at Nashville Superspeedway as planned to give everybody a chance to check on tire wear. Now, while we were in the break, let's take you back and show you what happened between Justin Allgaier and Jason Leffler as they were getting to know each other pretty well.
Hey, take a look at this 3 wide down the front straight. Justin comes down, doesn't see Leffler, and bam, right there. I mean, that could have been big. Leffler got out of the throttle.
Apologize to the 38, the 47 was pushing me down.
Okay, so you get the word from what he felt, like he was getting pushed down. And so as we go under this caution, that's a good thing because they'll be able to check for fender damage, tire rub, and anything else that may occur. We can tell you that the lucky dog is going to go to the 28 of Kenny Wallace, so he will get back on the lead lap. So Kenny will be grateful to Aaron's and to NASCAR.
And he'll get that lap back. He raced hard for it.
And that'll give us 33 cars on the lead lap, and you can see everybody set up to get these tires checked and changed and see how the tire wear has been. What's really been surprising, I don't think the 3 of us thought we'd see as much side-by-side passing through the corners as we have.
Yeah, no, I didn't anticipate that at all. That second groove's looking good now.
So here they come into pit lane, and let's set up our triple pits with Jamie Little up first.
Now, one of those drivers who was battling side-by-side gained 2 positions. Kyle Busch said the car is just a bit snug. They're going to fill it up with Sunoco fuel. They're going to go up on the track bar 1 round and 4 tires. Shannon, Dave?
Leader Logano, middle of your screen, wants just 0.3 of a pound of air out of that left rear tire. That'll help the car turn just a little bit better and hopefully keep in the lead. Meanwhile, the 60 car of Carl Edwards on the bottom. That car is also tight. They'll do a chassis adjustment there you see in the rear window, plus reduce air pressures on the left side of the race car to try to help Carl catch these guys. Kyle Busch is finished on top. Logano is finished. Can Carl beat him off of pit road? Here goes the race, Marty.
And it's going to be easy for Carl to be first off pit road, so he is going to pick up 2 spots. Logano drops 1. David Reagan picks up 3 spots coming off pit road. Kelly Byers went in 4th. Is coming out 4th. So as we get ready for a commercial break, there is the 27 of Jason Keller. He has now run in 72 races on concrete.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
And there's our Jackman John Reese. Let's listen.
There you go. Coming around. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on, come on, come on.
The NASCAR Nationwide Series at Nashville presented by Shell. Jason Ratcliffe, Kyle Busch's crew chief, looking at the tires after both the Gibbs cars had trouble on the right rear on the pit stop. Andy from the booth is watching this along with me. And Andy, a lot of teams last week in the Cup race at Texas talking about problems gluing the lugs on the tires, and also a lot of the tire changers talking about a change in NASCAR rules affecting how they change the tires.
Yeah, they have done that, and you see both Gibbs cars having problems. It makes me wonder if they're using the same kind of glue, maybe trying something different, Alan, to try to make that better. It maybe went the wrong way.
Well, let's reset it for you as we go back to green flag racing. It is now Carl Edwards in front of Joey Logano, Kelly Byers, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch drops to 5th. Jason Allgaier is in 6th. Should tell you that David Reagan got a speeding penalty on pit road, so a bad break for the 6 car. Look at Busch. Kyle trying to get underneath the 42 and has him. Meanwhile, Justin Allgaier is a battle for 6 with Mike Bliss in the 1.
Oh, whoa. Mike Bliss slips big time right there. Well, what was called?
That could have taken a couple cars with him.
Like both guys did a good job right there. I mean, Mike Bliss did a good job to save his car, and Justin Allgaier also just to give him enough room not to get crashed.
And here comes Michael Waltrip in the 99 trying to follow Jason Leffler in the Great Clips 38 Toyota, and they try and take advantage on the high side.
Okay, that position right there early in a run, when you're locked on the bottom of the racetrack and your right side of your car's jammed up against the other guy, it makes you so loose. It's unreal, and that's what happened to Bliss.
A lot of great action here early in the race as we're only working lap 38, and we're seeing a lot of guys trying to fight for positions as if we're in the last 38. Now it seems to settle down a little bit in that group as everybody gets back into single file. There you saw the leaders coming through. And then here's a big group, and take a look at the 16, the city car. That is Stenhouse, and he has moved himself up from 42nd, 43rd actually, up to 16th now.
So far, so good.
In fact, he's just taken over another spot. He's got 15th. So the youngster doing a great job after having to start at the rear of the field.
And he got racing everywhere.
The 66 of Stephen Wallace, and again the high side works as he gets and takes a spot away from the 27. And boy, look at Stenhouse. He's saying, I'm not waiting, son.
Patience, patience. Yeah. Don't want to tear this thing up now.
He's trying to show off for those owners, so it's not about that. I mean, he went to the back.
Nice
he
job.
hates being in the back after he qualified so good. He is driving that thing to the front. Pretty impressive day out of this kid so far.
Shannon, you've got more?
That car started off tight for Ricky Stenhouse. They did make some adjustments on that last pit stop. You guys, look at him on the track. He looks like a veteran. When you talk to him in person, that's also how he seems. He's very calm. Now, he did drive for Tony Stewart in the Sprint Cup in the Sprint Series last year. He says that Tony is one of his mentors. He turns to him for advice all the time. Guys?
And he has moved up, as you see on this graphic, 29 positions so far. He is up to 14th. Let's go back to the front of the field because the top 3 have got themselves a little battle brewing. As you can see, Carl Edwards has about a half a car length on Joey Logano, and Kelly Byers, the last few laps, guys, has actually been quicker than the first 2.
He's right there with them. I'm telling you, that 33 car has been strong all year long. They got that win at Bristol with Kevin Harvick back there. Last week with Tony Stewart in the controls, they came back second. Kelly Byers, they hadn't lost a thing with Kelly Byers in that car. How about it, Dave?
Well, this is great for him to get back together with crew chief Ernie Cope, who he worked with in the truck series at JTG Racing. And Ernie was the one who put him in direct contact with Kevin Harvick about the time Daytona in February came around. As he tracks these guys down, Kevin was the one who was supposed to run this race, but he decided to give this youngster a shot, and it's great to see him driving to his potential.
And while these 3 keep going, they're trying to pull away from 4th place. Brad Keselowski, there is a full second between 3rd and 4th place. There you see what the gap is. Back to 4th, and in 5th place is Kyle Busch, and then there's a huge gap back to 6th.
I tell you, it was pretty impressive how Brad Keselowski has had another bad qualifying run and drove this thing back up to the 4th position. We've been seeing this week after week, and I know he doesn't want to qualify bad like he's been doing, but he's making the best of it.
Hey, Jamie, we were talking about the lug nut situation on the 18 and the 20 car. Have you been able to confirm anything?
Yes, they were having problems with the glue. This is the glue that they use, but the team told me this is what everybody uses. Basically, it's used to glue the lug nut on right here. Today, they said for some reason they're having problems. The lug nut popped off on that last stop and cost them a lot of time, guys. That could be something to watch. Remember, it was really cold here this morning. That could have something to do with it.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jamie. The weather is a factor in that glue curing time, and if you don't adjust properly for that, you can actually get the glue either too hard or too soft and make those lug nuts fall off. So I think that is the thing. I think the weather's kind of throwing them a curve.
Andy, it seems like every single time we have cold weather or rain or something like that, we always hear about these lug nut problems.
Let's go back on board with Carl Edwards because he's got a mirror full of the 20 GameStop Camry of Joey Logano, as Joey is all over him trying to pressure.
And Joey's got a mirror full of that 33 car, Kelly Byers, too. So this is a three-way battle for the lead.
Right now, this is some great racing early here at Nashville. And remember that we've got quite a number of drivers. In fact, over half the field has never won in the Nationwide Series, and this place is known for first-time winners.
Hey, what if the pit crew for Kelly Byers can give him good pit stops and keep him up there all day long? This guy's got an opportunity. We've been talking about it all week long about how this is great for first-time winners. He's got himself in position right now.
Of course, Carl Edwards has won here at this track 3 times, 5 times total in 25 events on concrete, which is a pretty darn good win percentage in anybody's book.
See Keselowski now moving up there to 4th. Put a little pressure on that 33 car.
Yeah, and he is bringing Kyle Busch along with him, although he's a little bit further back. But both those cars are trying to make this a 5-way battle.
Tell you what, Joey's got that nose just right up under the back of Edwards, right in the corners, and that'll make your car big time loose. And Edwards was talking about how he was free up off the corners, and it looks like they've helped the car a little bit, but they just can't shake Logano.
It looks like Carl's fighting a little bit harder for that lead. You know, he wants to try to keep it now instead of giving it up like he did earlier. I think he wants to keep that air on the nose of that car.
Dave, you've got more on Logano?
Yeah, and one of the things they wanted to improve in that race car was the early run. He said, I want it to be just a little bit freer at the start of the run. And you can see he's been able to hang with his 60 car with just that slight air pressure adjustment they made since the green came back out.
Well, he has given Carl all he wants. Looking underneath him as they head for the stripe is who's going to lead this lap, and it's going to be Logano. So he takes over and got another lead change. It'll be our 3rd between these 2 guys, and he's trying to put a little space between them now. There is the top 5 all in the same shot here at Nashville. And of course, what are they racing for? It is that Gibson guitar, one of the best trophies you could ever imagine. Because not only does it look good, you can actually play it if you know how.
Spots on the pit stop a little bit ago, getting one of them back there, passing Kelly Byers. Busch in the 18, Byers in the 33, and that for 3rd position. So the top 5 now, Logano, Edwards, Busch, Byers, and Brad Keselowski, the 5th place driver in the 88 car. Remember Keselowski, the defending winner here at Nashville the last time the series raced here last June. He started well back in the field in 19th spot. So looking back again, here come your top 5, and there's Keselowski in 5th. Tough start to the season for him, as we documented on Countdown. He's been feeling the pressure.
This is the point of the season, you know, early summer to midsummer, where those decisions will be made of what's going to happen for my future in the immediate. So obviously this is, you know, a now or never situation for me where I need to have a strong summer to solidify what I'm going to have for 2010.
You know, Alan, this young man right here has had a tough start this season, but I think he will persevere. I think he's going to put himself in position today to get a good, solid finish and try to build upon that. I think that's the thing he builds upon from last week.
Of course, been trying to run a lot of the Sprint Cup races as well, too, in the early part of this season. So we've taken you through the top 5. How about a little deeper into the field? Time for our Nationwide Insurance Up to Speed. We start with the 6th place runner, Mike Bliss, and Jamie Little. Jamie?
Well, Mike Bliss coming off a great effort last weekend in Texas where he finished 7th. That was the highlight of the season so far. Well, this morning he qualified 7th, said the car is great. Balance is even better. At the last stop, they just made an air pressure adjustment and 4 tires. Shannon.
Well, Jason Leffler started this race today 21st. He has now moved into the top 10. The car started off very good for Jason Leffler, but when he had contact with the 12 of Justin Allgaier, he did have some damage. The guys were very busy under the pit stop. They did some work. Right now, it's just a little bit tight. chattering the nose just a little bit for the 38. Now, right behind him is Michael McDowell, who's very happy to see the sun peeking through the clouds right now. On that last pit stop, they adjusted for the sun, and when the cloud coverage came, the car was going away for him. So right now, they're very happy to see the sunlight. Jamie.
And behind him, Bernie Lamar, his third outing in this 32 car, started 17th today. I had a chance to talk to him before he got in the car. He said, this is the best car I've ever had. Balance so far today, good. Air pressure adjustment, said it was just a little bit tight on the last stop. Dave?
Jamie trying to track him down is Stephen Wallace. Near the end of the first run, he had a vibration on the car. That turned out to be a loose wheel. He had to slow down and let cars pass him before that competition caution. Meanwhile, up in second place, guys, real quick, here goes Kyle Busch. He's getting back around that 60 car of Carl Edwards and now going after his teammate. Marty?
All right, thanks, guys, as we get you caught up to speed. And now it is about a 1.1 second difference between Joey Logano and his teammate Kyle Busch. And Kyle making pretty quick work of Carl. So as this run goes longer, we're starting to see Carl have a little more problems, and Kyle actually gets better as the run goes.
Yeah, Carl's going to need another adjustment. I mean, he made one small adjustment that last pit stop. He's going to need another one if he's going to catch these guys. And I will tell you, the sun's beating down this racetrack harder now, and we haven't had sun all week long.
Take a look at Joey Logano as he is going around lap traffic, and he's going to put our Aaron's Lucky Dog winner from just the first competition caution, Kenny Wallace, a lap down again. So as we head to commercial break, it has been an interesting race so far as Joey Logano, who led a 64 of the first 80 laps last June, only to have serious problems later on in the event. But boy, he's been looking good so far here in Nashville. Welcome back to the NASCAR Nationwide Series at Nashville, presented by Shell. It's race number 6 of the 35 in the 2009 campaign. And right now, Joey Logano has a 0.6 of a second lead over his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate, Kyle Busch, as he continues to control. And we had a chance. I mean, Kyle had some interesting comments on the radio, and let's listen in.
Are we going to be able to get away with not using those stickers today or no? No, we're going to have to put them on at some point. Let's get them out of the way, dude. Scuffs aren't that bad. If we come in and put stickers on, don't make any changes to free me up. If you keep putting scuffs on it, I need to be a little bit freer for the center still. Just a little. That was a good change there.
So it is apparent he does not like the sticker tires. Let's go down the Craftsman Tech Garage, bring in Tim Brewer. Tim, why doesn't he like the stickers?
When you set your cars up, folks, when you go out on a racetrack with a brand new tire, it's got oil, petroleum in it. After you heat cycle it, meaning get the temperature up to 220, 230 degrees, what that does, it changes the handling characteristic. Some guys love the sticker tires, but after a while, you run the things, it has a chance to change the characteristics of the tires. But every driver I know, if you give them 4 stickers, that's the way they're going to go 90% of the time.
All right, thanks, Tim. So right now, as we continue, he's still about a second behind teammate Joey Logano, but he has opened up a 1.3 second lead over third place, Carl Edwards. Let's get more on the tire situation from Jamie.
Well, Marty, I was talking to Kyle Busch's crew chief, Jason Ratcliffe, this morning. What I found interesting was they put scuffs on to qualify. He told me they don't do that at any other racetrack, that Nashville is very unique. So tires have definitely been on their mind. They scuffed every single set except for one, and that's what you heard Kyle referring to in that radio.
All right, thanks, Jamie. As we move a little bit further back in the battle here, we're going to pick up action between the 88 of Brad Keselowski and Mike Bliss, because they've got the best battle going on the racetrack. That is for 5th place, guys.
Well, Bliss has got that car handling good, but Keselowski just solid again still. You know, yesterday in practice, we were looking at Bliss's car, talking about Mike Bliss, he had cords hanging out of the right rear tire, Andy. Remember? That track was so green. I got nervous about him staying out there, but I guess with the rubber getting on the racetrack, that problem's going to start going away for him.
Yeah, it surprised me that they actually went back on the track after making a change with cords showing on the right rear, but it worked out for him. And, you know, that's why they had that competition yellow, because we see a lot of tire wear on these concrete tracks when the track is green before they get a lot of laps on it. Starting to rubber in a little bit now, and I think that tire wear issue is probably gone.
You know, talking about the tires, we were talking about those scuffed tires for Kyle Busch. You know, generally when the track is cold, when you got cold outside air temperature like we did yesterday and like we have today, really, a lot of guys like those scuff tires. They tend to do better on a colder track. The hotter the track is better the stickers work.
Well, in case you're just tuning in here at the top of the hour, we welcome you to Nashville Superspeedway. It is the Nashville 300, and we are working lap number 76 of 225. We've had a total of 3 lead changes between 2 drivers, Joey Logano and Carl Edwards. But right now, Edwards finds himself in 3rd place, and there you see him. He is behind Logano and Kyle Busch. And in 4th place, it is Kelly Byers, with 5th place, rounding out the top 5, Brad Keselowski.
You know, as I watch the times of the front 2 leaders, Logano and Kyle Busch, guys, they're almost 0.2 of a second faster than the 3rd and 4th place cars. I mean, they are really, I guess you could call them their own zip code right now. Those things are hooked up, and these other guys are going to need some more pit stops to get, if they're going to catch them, because their cars are handling nothing like those 2 right there.
Yeah, we heard Kyle Busch say that he really liked that last change they made, and that's bad news for everybody else. These other guys need to find that same little adjustment and see if they can make it to get caught up with these guys.
You know, Andy, was pretty wild was that they had bad pit stops too. I mean, both of them, like you said, right rear problems. They've overcome that and just drove these cars up there.
I'm not so sure they've overcome it. You know, they have to make some more stops, and we see them down there changing the glue. And you know, this kind of problem usually you can't. It's so hard to fix it because you have to glue these things up ahead of time. You got to change the glue, or you're changing something in the middle of the race. It could still come back to bite both these guys.
How much time do these lug nuts really need to cure? If they put lug nuts on right now, how much time before they could actually put that set of tires on?
Well, you would like to see at least 30 minutes to an hour, but I don't know that they'll get that. You know, you never know when these cautions will come out. And like I said, all the glues have a little different curing time, so it's not exactly, you know, it's not an exact science. But I hate to see, you know, I'm sure that they're a little bit apprehensive about this next stop.
Well, there is last year's race winner, Scott Wimmer, in the 40, and he is under attack to go a lap down at the hands of race leader Joey Logano. Now, we have run about 46 laps, guys, since that first mandatory caution. So now we're getting an idea of who can roll during the long hauls, and Joey Logano is doing a good job. Meanwhile, if you remember during that pit stop, it was the 6th car of David Reagan who got caught speeding, so he had to go back in the longest line. Since the restart, he has picked up a total of 19 positions and has moved himself into 14th position. And Dave, you've got more?
Marty, of course, David will be the first one to tell you that was his fault, but it was not the fault of any of the guys down here on pit road, and it was a perfect pit stop for DJ Edwards. Now, this will be DJ's last time pitting for this 6 car. Why? Because he's so darn good. This 22-year-old from Florida watched television and decided outside of high school, as we see a pass for the lead. There goes Kyle Busch asserting himself once again. But back to DJ Edwards. Oh, wait a minute. Let's stay here for just a second and see if Logano's going to pass his teammate back. It looks like Busch is going to once again take the lead and try to dominate here at Nashville for the first time since he's not been able to do that yet at this racetrack. Meanwhile, DJ Edwards, and the caution's out. Let's get back to that later, Marty.
Yeah, save that story because it is interesting, and we'll get back to you, Dave, on that as we've got our 2nd caution, and we're looking around the racetrack, so there must be debris because nobody is close to the wall in any of the 4 corners. So here on lap number 82, and our Aaron's lucky dog will go to the 26 of Dennis Setzer. So he'll get the free pass to get back onto the lead lap. And that means we'll have 24 cars on the lead lap. So the last time we had a caution was on lap 32. Here we are on lap 83, and everybody has a lot better idea on how their car runs on a long run.
Yeah, in my mind, this is a key stop right here for everybody because, like you said, there's enough rubber on this racetrack right now. And Andy, you just got to believe that, you know, the amount of laps we've run, 82 laps, I mean, cars are pretty well settled in now.
Yeah, I think the track has settled in. It's probably made the biggest change it's going to make from the start till now. So track, like I said, is stable. They can make some changes and now really kind of have an idea about where they're going to be.
All right, remember what happened on the Joe Gibbs cars, especially to Kyle Busch on that first round of pit stops. Had trouble with the lug nuts. We're obviously going to keep our eyes on that. Cost him a few spots, but through the long run, right here before the caution, the 18 car able to take the lead for the first time here. He's our 3rd different leader.
And don't forget, Carl Edwards has that #1 pit stall down there. And here they come off the racetrack.
And let's send it to Jamie Little first.
And just when Kyle Busch takes the lead, it's time to come back in and pit. Now, he said no changes, just like he said on the radio. Let's use those sticker tires. His words, let's get rid of them. The only set they're going to put on that 18 car. Shannon.
Jamie, tight in, loose off is a word from Jason Leffler in this 38. They're going to go up around that track bar. You see that wrench in the back window. 4 tires, air pressure, and fuel. Dave.
Joey Logano says this car needs to turn better, so they put a wrench in the rear window as well. That's a track bar adjustment. They'll make an air pressure adjustment as well. Pull it full of Sunoco fuel. Meanwhile, up at the head of pit road, Carl Edwards is in. He'll take on 4 tires. They'll raise the track bar. That car not turning it well for Carl either, and he'll get it's pretty close coming off, Marty.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to be Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, and then Carl, Kelly Byers, Brad Keselowski. So they came in that order. They're going out in that order. Jason Leffler was able to get 1 spot ahead of Mike Bliss, Stephen Wallace, Mr. McDowell, and Mr. Reagan. And Reagan trying to work his way back to the front. Remember, he got penalized last time.
The one that lets her know for. Coming to the restart, the NASCAR Nationwide Series at Nashville. Our coverage presented by Shell. A little post-pit stop feedback from Carl Edwards to his team.
The rear tire wear is a lot better this time, a lot better. So it is getting better here. Do you think we'd have made it the next till the green stop? That's 10-4, no problem. 10-4, would have made it.
Okay, feedback from the team to him.
Yeah, that was it. They're just trying to pump a little confidence into Carl. They want to make sure the decisions that they make are appropriate and they're good. So he's giving him a little feedback saying, yeah, Carl, we made the right decision.
And Rusty, as they come to the restart, we heard Carl talking about his car being loose, which would be harder on that right rear tire. You wonder if he was running conservatively at all, worrying about that until this track rubbered in?
Well, it could be, Alan. There's no doubt about that one. He's done it, like you said earlier, this is a key pit stop. You probably tighten that car up a little bit. Needs to drive it hard right now and see if he can catch these cats.
Well, they did 51 laps on that run, and the pit window for fuel was, we've estimated, somewhere between 60 and 70. So they were pretty close to having to come in anyway. So everybody's got an idea. And look at this. We've got a battle for the lead between the teammates. Joey Logano going to go underneath Kyle.
Don't forget, now this is the first set of stickers that Kyle Busch has had on, and he didn't like those. He gets passed by his teammate Logano, and here comes Carl Edwards.
Yeah, we saw him trying to scuff him up as much as he could, be coming to the green, but it obviously hasn't been enough. And boy, we got another great 3-way battle between these guys. It's been this way since the drop of the green flag.
I think we can really see what Carl Edwards has got right now after that change. Car's been pretty steady, and I'm real surprised, even with the sticker tires versus scuff tires with Kyle Busch. I would have thought with that clean air out front.
Oh, big crash here, guys.
Coming out of turn 4, the 62 is involved.
Yeah, Michael.
That's Ken Butler.
Pit road, he's right here.
Looks like Brendan Gaughan's got damage.
Yep, so does the 31 of Tim Andrews. 15, as you mentioned, the 01 also involved. That's Danny O'Quinn. He's right in the middle of the infield section.
Yeah, we had a lot of rain here just yesterday.
The 62 went down pit road, just like he doesn't have any damage.
I think, yeah, he does have damage on the left side.
Oh, sure does.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Rusty.
Got it in the left front.
Can't turn the wheel real well. I got something heavy on a fender somewhere. Yeah, it's the whole left side store up here.
Well, that's what that U.S. Fidelis warranty is all about. Get that left front fixed.
Get her fixed, though.
All right, let's go on board with Justin Allgaier.
Oh, it looks like Gaughan just flat lost it all by himself.
Yeah, the fact that he was in that high groove and kind of spun in front of these guys that were running too wide behind him caused a lot bigger wreck.
Take a look from outside. Yeah, he's all alone.
And these guys just don't have anywhere to go. Trying to get stopped. You see him even behind this, a chain reaction with David Green getting spun around by Morgan Shepherd.
So it looks like about 5 total cars get a little bit of damage or a lot of damage in this one. Get one more view from down low. We'll sort it all out, see what happens here when we come back to Nashville. Big hit for Brendan Gaughan. Well, we're under our 3rd caution here at Nashville, and gives us a chance to dial up our in-race reporter, Justin Allgaier. He's all the way back in the field at 18th, Rusty.
Justin Allgaier, Rusty Wallace, ESPN, you got us?
See how you doing up there?
Looks like you dodged a bullet, that accident right in front of you. How's that car handling right now for you?
Run on new tires, that's for sure, but just trying to get the balance of the Verizon Wireless Dodge where we want it. I thought the restart there was really going to work to our advantage, but turn 3 and 4 was a little slicker than I thought.
Justin, what's the biggest thing you're fighting right now? You got a loose car or a tight car? What is it?
Really, we're fighting all of the above. We're tight on entries through the middle. and once you got the wheel to it in the middle, you can't get back to the gas on exit. So we're fighting a little bit of both, and we lost a little track position there in the pits. I got the engine killed and couldn't get it refired there, so that killed us a lot. But we got a long race still, and Chad Walter and all the guys are doing a great job today. Pit crew's doing a great job, so just trying to get ourselves back up front.
All right, buddy, have a great race. We'll talk to you later.
Justin started 9th, and he's back in 18th as a result of that problem on pit road. All right, let's talk a little bit about what's going to be coming up on ESPN and ESPN2 on the motorsports calendar. Of course, the roundtable will be Monday at 5 Eastern. All of this action on ESPN2, to come to think of it. Friday at 9 Eastern, we'll be at Phoenix. That'll be a fun one, guys. And NASCAR Now, presented by 5 Hour Energy, next Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. And then the Summit Racing Equipment NHRA qualifying on Saturday at 6, and the race Sunday at 7 Eastern. For more, just log on to ESPN.com. And there is the Gibson guitar that will go to the race winner at the end of today's event. And right now we are getting closer to halfway. We're working lap 92 of 2:25. Let's reset it for you. You've got Joey Logano in front of Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Kelly Byers, Brad Keselowski. That is your top 5 right now. Our Aaron's lucky dog from the last go-around, John West Townley, doing exactly what Brad Parrott wanted him to do, keep the car clean.
Good so far. Got that lucky dog now back on the lead lap and go to work.
And that gives us a total of 25 cars now on the lead lap. Pace car is in, green flag is back out, and Joey Logano's on the hammer.
Gave Kyle Busch enough time to scuff those tires a little bit now since that last run. Let's see if this car wakes up and gets after it again now.
Yeah, you got a heat cycle on those stickers by running that short run, having a caution. Sit out there and let them cool off. So now they should act like scuffed tires.
Going down the backstretch, everybody in the top 5 pretty much holding station. There you saw Stenhouse in the 16, the youngster up to 12th now. Remember, he started 43rd in this field. But right now, it's Joey Logano in front of his teammate, Kyle Busch, by 0.2 of a second. And there's the log jam behind him. Scott Wimmer on the high side in that 40 car. The 88 in front of him, Brad Keselowski. Here comes Kelly Byers in the 33, and Keselowski follows with him.
Well, these cars, they've had a pit stop. They got those fresh tires. They are glued together side by side. And just like you said, guys, a gaggle of cars. They just can't get away from each other right now.
Well, they've gotten away from some of that lap traffic. Wimmer was a lap down. Obviously, we told you that a little bit earlier, just in case you tuned in. But now you're right. They've got some open air, and they get the chance to close in, hopefully, on the race leaders. Check the battle for 8th. There's David Rager. Remember, he got caught for speeding a couple of stops ago. And Michael McDowell in the 47. Trying to take it on the high side? No, not going to do it.
Yeah, Reagan's had a fast car throughout the day. Just that penalty just really killed him, and he hasn't been screwing up at all right now. He's just driving that thing through the field nice and easy, no damage, doing a good job.
Shannon, what's the latest on McDowell's car in the 47?
Well, the car was a little bit free before that last pit stop, so they put some tape on the grill and made a track bar adjustment. Michael McDowell is liking that high line a little bit better, but he is able to move around the track depending on where the traffic is. But that car is good, holding in the top 10 for Michael McDowell.
Whoa, and we've got 3 wide going through the corner, and the meat in that sandwich was Stephen Light in the 29. And look at Stenhouse as he just pulls away from both of them.
Still on that march to the front. Doing a good job. He's pretty aggressive on that move.
Put Stenhouse up into the top 10 for the first time today. So the youngster doing a remarkable job coming back from the back of the pack.
Had some pretty good experience running the ARCA division last year, and it's really helped him. Roush really believes in him. Gave him a good car for this weekend.
Here we go with a battle for the lead. On the low side, it's Kyle Busch. The high side, it's Logano. And at the stripe, it's Kyle Busch. So we get the lead, and Kyle's got it and going to hold on to it at least for another moment or two. These guys have swapped it now a couple of times. Total of 8 different lead changes between 3 drivers.
This was the move I was really looking for, Randy, to see if those scuffed tires would do anything. And obviously, those new tires are bugging him big time.
Here comes Stephen Light back on Stenhouse, and Light takes 10th and moves Stenhouse back to 11th. That's Bernie Lamar in the 32. That's 12th position on the racetrack for Braun Racing. You know, we should mention the 32 team members of Braun had to leave their hotel. They had no electricity, no water. The hotel was not really physically damaged, but they had to get out after the tornadoes yesterday, so a bit of an inconvenience for them, but nothing compared to the 100 homes that were destroyed in the area in those violent tornadoes that went through. Right now, look at Bernie. He wants a piece of Mr. Stenhouse.
Yeah, these guys are fighting also this lap car, Kenny Hendrick, ahead of him. And it's kind of bottled them up behind him.
On board with Jason Keller, who is on the lead lap in 13th position. And Jason says, oh, as you saw the 32 get loose, Lamar makes a nice save. And Keller, being the old wily veteran, says, old Aiden Treachery works better than you. He takes both spots. He's just moved up 2 more. So move Mr. Keller into the top 10. So this 10th position swapped between these three about 3 different times.
And Marty with Stenhouse said at the beginning of the show, hey, I want to finish 6th. That's my goal. If I could do that, I could really get it done.
Hey, and take a look, and let's give a tip of the hat to Mr. Joe Nemechek. Old front row Joe is doing pretty doggone good because he's in the 14th position right now, and this is the first time in his long career the 92 Series champion has ever run here at Nashville.
I can't hardly believe that Joe's never raced here. He said he's tested a cup car here quite a few laps, but first time he's ever raced here. But he's a great race car driver, doing a good job.
And right behind him is Michael Waltrip. That is also 4th position. He is running 15th. So a lot of good action going around this racetrack as we're working lap 103 of 225. Meanwhile, everything up front is staying the same it was just a couple of laps ago. Kyle Busch retook the lead from Joey Logano, and it's about 0.6 of a second back to 3rd place, Carl Edwards. There's your top 5 here at Nashville. Don't go away, because this has been good all afternoon. We're working lap 108 of the NASCAR Nationwide Series at Nashville, presented by Shell. We're glad you're with us. Right now, the lead up front between Kyle Busch and Joey Logano. Kyle has led a total now of 16 laps. Logano has led 58. The other leader has been 34 for Carl Edwards. In fact, that gives us a chance to give you the Holiday Inn race recap. And you can see the 3 leaders that we have talked about as we've had the total of 8 lead changes. And take a look at a battle for 4th as we continue to show the recap. Brad Keselowski getting around Kelly Byers. Moved Byers back to 5th.
I'm just still real impressed with Kelly Byers. Just solid all day long. And this Keselowski, he's another one that just week after week's got a fast car, but has a problem finishing. But Texas, he finally pulled it off, got that thing up there where he needed to do. Looks like it might happen again today.
The thing I like about Keselowski is he stays tough all race long. The longer the race goes, it seems the better he gets. He just wears them down, and he peaks at the right time at the end of the race.
Let's go back to a moment ago between these two. As you can see, Keselowski closing on Kelly. Whoa, Kelly gets loose.
Big time loose.
And Brad says, thank you very little.
Brad says, that's how you pass a car. Get the guy real loose and drive underneath him. Look at this. Look, it's a late exit loose right there.
Yeah, Brad even let it breathe a little bit, thinking he might come down on him.
You know, Andy, that's how I used to pass cars. I get right on somebody's rear end and drive down to turn 3, get them real loose, and they dart up the track and drive underneath them.
You did that on purpose?
Yeah, the problem, though, is the next corner, the guy would do it to me again, though.
All right, so there you see the battle for 4th and 5th. Let's move a little bit further back in the field and check in with this young rookie in the 16 car, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He is now running 13th. Remember, started shotgun on the field after having to go to the back after a great qualifying effort. Let's get the latest from Shannon as she's caught up with his crew chief.
Well, listening to the radio right now, Ricky Stenhouse is giving his crew chief, Eddie Pardue, some information about that car. But I got to ask you, what do you think about your young driver's performance here so far today?
Well, the City Financial Ford Fusion started off a little tight, but Ricky's doing a great job, doing good out there.
All right, we'll let him get back to work right now because we are still under green flag, but Ricky Stenhouse definitely has a lot of mentors, his Roush Fenway teammates.
And we've just noticed, Andy, you picked up a little damage on that left front.
Yeah, that's one thing he might want to take a look at on this next stop. He's got some damage on that left front fender. He moved all the way up to 10th spot. Now he's slipped back to 13th. They may need to take a look at that, how to get it fixed.
Looks like that air dam in the left front on the bottom is bent under, Andy, could that have happened coming out pit road, coming off the track?
Well, he's been in some pretty tight spots on the racetrack. I'm not sure that didn't happen when they were racing for position up there around 10th spot.
Well, you heard that they were talking about. Whoa, hang on!
Time loose right there.
He almost put it in the wall on the right side. Could have had matching fenders.
I think some of that sprint car experience came in handy right there.
That was a good recovery by the youngster. Yeah, and you heard Shannon talking about the teammate and how it all comes together. We had a chance to talk to him about it.
I've learned a little bit just from listening to them on the radio and things like that, how they like the car to be at the beginning of the runs, and so it'll be good at the end of the run. But I've learned a little bit from them. I'm looking forward to learning a lot more this year.
And as we have gone past halfway here, Ricky Stenhouse, as you see, started 43rd, and you can see the progression all the way. His highest position was 10th, as you mentioned, Andy. He has dropped back those 3 spots, but maybe they'll be able to get him back into that top 10. Let's go back and take a look at the hacksaw job he did on this steering wheel to save it.
Well, some good reactions behind the steering wheel. You see here, man, he is all over that wheel, Rusty.
Right, left, hold on.
He did it all at the right time.
Yeah, he did.
You forgot one last part. Breathe again. All right, let's take a look at Bliss and Reagan, and that's the battle for 6th, and looks like Bliss is trying to pull away from him a little bit. Remember, Reagan got caught for speeding on the first round of pit stops, and David has been marching his way back ever since.
And we've been talking about the one car being loose. Rusty noticed it, and that pays off in these long runs. If you do have a loose race car, the best part of the run is probably going to be at the end of the run when it does seem to tighten up. Hey, Dave, you caught up with somebody with the 6th car here?
Yeah, and he just recently on the radio from David himself, a little free. He needs grip from the center off, and that's what he's asking for. So that's one of the reasons why he saw Bliss coming, but he really couldn't hold him off.
And you see David's chart right there is the low spot for him was that 33rd restart after getting caught for speeding. And as we get ready to go to commercial break, let's recap the lead up front, because you got Kyle Busch by a full second now over Joey Logano. Carl Edwards 1.6 seconds back of the leader in 3rd. And there's the rest of the top 5 as we're past halfway, but the action isn't over here at Nashville just yet. Welcome back to the NASCAR Nationwide Series at Nashville, presented by Shell. We're under our 4th caution right now, and unfortunately for Scott Wimmer, last year's race winner, that's his catch can out in the middle of turn 3, and that's a no-no.
Yeah, he made a green flag pit stop with a flat right front tire, came off the pit road, and I guess this catch can got stuck. See it on the car right there. Fell off on the track, had to throw a caution for it.
So a tough break for Scott, and here comes everybody down pit road, as the last time they stopped was lap 83. It's lap 123, Jamie.
And Kyle continued to rack up the laps. Here they're going to put on some scuff tires. No adjustments. The 8 car is good. Dave.
Joey Logano comes in. The car got tighter quicker on this last run, so they will make an air pressure adjustment and a chassis adjustment on that car. I believe it's track bar for the 20 car. Carl Edwards' car is still tight. It's been that way all day long. They'll take on 4 tires. They're looking at a wedge adjustment to try to change the way that car handles for Carl. He hasn't been able to catch those guys yet today after an early lead, as they remove the windshield there, and he is going to win the race off pit road, Marty. It looks like they can pick it up on pit road, too.
It is going to be Carl Edwards by
Great job.
2 positions picking it up off of pit road. Kyle Busch ahead of Joey Logano. In fact, Joey could have been second, but he spun the tires and sort of bogged the car a little bit. That was all Kyle needed. But here's that advantage that you were talking about.
There it is.
Right there. And boy, we have another lead change thanks to the pit crew. Remember we told you that the car on the 20 car sort of bogged coming out of pit lane? Here's the conversation with Joey and the crew.
Great, that's my fault. I jumped the clutch too early, I thought. All right, one big happy team here. I want to watch you drive by him anyways.
And drive-bying him anyways is a reference to Carl Edwards. But remember, the last 2 times that Carl has had the lead, he's been very good early in the runs, about 10 to 15 laps before the guys behind him have been able to track him down.
See if he can change that trend right here. He's got the lead. See how long he can hold it. A little scramble going on behind these guys.
Yeah, David Reagan had a little moment there as he pulled out. And we've got another spin coming out of turn number 2. Ken Butler as he has backed it hard into the wall.
Frank, bring it around if you can here, KB.
Yeah, he's shorting that car up pretty good in the back.
Well, he's able to at least get it running.
So lost it, dude.
Get back to
That's
pit
my fault,
lane.
man.
I think when they see it, that'll be about it for the day.
The right rear, we backed into the wall, Robbie. It should be fixable, not competitively, but we'll be able to fix it. It's not, I can't even start it right now.
He was running 23rd at the time, had a pretty good run going. He had just gotten a penalty from NASCAR during that last pit stop, which he had forced him to move to the back. Let's see if that was any reason for this.
He
Did he get help?
lost it. He just car gets around on him. And that's the treacherous part of these. These restarts. The tires are not warmed up yet, and he's out in that outside groove where there's trash.
Well, he's heading for the garage. We should tell you the Aaron's lucky dog on that last caution was the 62 of Brendan Gaughan. And we'll get to know who gets it this time when we come back to Nashville here at the Superspeedway. Back here at the Nashville 300, Carl Edwards is, well, laid claim to pretty much wanting to own this track. Remember this moment where he picked up his first win on the concrete surface here at Nashville?
That's when he was perfecting his backflip.
And then in April of 2007, he made it 2 in a row with picking up his second Gibson's guitar. And then
get a collection of those things now.
He's going to have 3 because he won both ends of the 07 campaign, 3 in a row. And you saw Jack Roush on hand for that celebration. And speaking of Jack and his driver, look at this. Going for win number 100 in the series. And here's the breakdown. Mark's got the most for him at 40. Carl has 20, and 5 of those are on concrete. And he's leading right now. And Biffle, Burton, Kenseth round out the 5 guys. All right, let's check in on his radio because it sounds like he might be a little concerned.
How do you feel about that wheel, man? How do you feel about it? How's it feel right there? To me, it feels all right. I mean, yeah, he's pretty strong that he's only 3 tight on there. Okay, just explicitly asked, that's what the tire changer does. How does he feel about it? It's his call. He feels like he went bang, 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 got 3 of them tight. I'll go with that, but they got to be tight. Bang, 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 3 tight, going for the 4th one when the car left, so.
All right, let's take a look. I think they're talking about the left rear.
Yeah, the Jackman is the guy that keys this stop as far as when to leave, and evidently the rear tire changer was not completely finished hitting these lug nuts. We'll see here how many he gets. We can get it in this shot. It's actually the left front. I'm sorry, I said the left rear. It's the left front. I'd be a little worried about that one.
If the guy knows he only did 3, I don't think 3's going to hold it.
Right. See, Dan Stillman's not sure either.
Yeah, they're scratching their heads, trying to see what they've got. And meanwhile, we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing, and Carl Edwards is your race leader, followed by Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, and David Reagan has fought his way back into the top 5, looking for his first win ever in the Nationwide Series.
What do you think it's going to take, Andy? About 10 laps before he knows about that left front?
Yeah, he'll know pretty quick. If it's tight, it'll stay tight. It'll give him an indication pretty early.
With only 3 lug nuts, huh?
Yep. Okay. 3 will hold it if they're tight.
Well, it looks like he might be a little loose up ahead from Brad Keselowski's view. Although he manages to maintain about a half a car length lead as we come by the stripe, and we'll get a better look from outside as they go through turns 1 and 2 again.
I know this race has been all about Carl Edwards and these 2 Gibbs cars. See the Gibbs cars now side by side, Joey Logano and Kyle Busch.
Yeah, Carl's loving that. Boy,
but
Joey just goes flying by.
Keep an eye on this 88 car. He's snuck in this picture here, and he's steadily getting better.
Well, Carl has been stronger, as we mentioned before, early in the runs. The 2 Gibbs cars get better as the run goes on, and we'll see what Brad Keselowski has. But, of course, now look at the sun beaming down on this racetrack, well, like it hasn't been for the last 2 days, and that's going to change the setups possibly again for these guys. Oh, we got somebody up high, and that's Steve Wallace. And can he keep it off the wall? Yes.
Hold your brakes.
No damage so far.
Well, a little bit on the left rear corner. He might have gotten some help in this deal.
No yellow yet.
The yellow has now come out, and yeah, there is the damage on the 31 car of Tim Andrews. So maybe those 2 did get together after all. Steven was running 14th at the time of this incident, and we should point out the last time the yellow came out, we didn't mention the 42 of Kenny Hendrick got the Aaron's lucky dog. He got back on the lead lap. Now we'll get another here on our 6th caution. Take a look.
Well, it looks like he got loose
Comes up in front of Michael Waltrip and Burley Lamar. Stays out of the wall.
Yeah, there was no
barely
contact
stays
between
out of the wall.
So now we got to figure out how the damage occurred on the other car of Tim Andrews. Boy, that car just snapped out. It was like, bam, gone.
It doesn't take long for these cars to get away from
Now, on a restart like that, he bombed that baby down into turn one. It just kicked out from underneath of him. Had no room to let the car go up high and save it.
Okay, this is decision time for Carl Edwards. Yep, here he comes.
Yeah, yeah. And
he's
going to be the
felt
only
something
one
in that car. I was wondering if he felt anything, and this is the time to get in here and get it fixed if he did.
Well, from a safety standpoint, there's still plenty of laps. I mean, we've got 90 laps to go. He's going to give up a lot of track position, but boy, if that wheel would have come off.
Yeah, I mean, if he feels that vibration, he knows it's coming loose, you've got to come down pit road, Dave.
Absolutely, guys, and what they're going to do is the tires that come off of this car, they just have a couple laps on them, so they're going to glue them back up and use them later. Except for the left front, they're going to take a close look at that and make sure that the holes didn't get out around on that wheel, and then they'll decide what to do about that. But Chuck Epa on the front there, he knew he hit 3, but he might not have hit that 4th, and so Carl was feeling it in the car, definitely want to come back down and change 4.
So he'll come back out.
Big road to hoe now.
Yeah, he's going to be about 25th when we go back to green flag racing. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge, but there's still plenty of laps. There's 89 to go. This could be fun to watch. I'm sure Carl doesn't like the idea of having to fight his way through, but we're going to get a kick out of it. Yeah. Welcome back to the NASCAR Nationwide Series in Nashville, presented by Shell. We've had issues on pit lane. First stop for Joey Logano. See the little hitch on the right rear? And it was an even bigger problem on the same stop for the 18 of Kyle Busch, as they just had problem with the lug nuts staying on the wheel. And they were checking that to see if the glue might have gotten too cold earlier in the day. And then for Carl Edwards, the stop prior to this latest caution. Watch the left front. They only think they got about 3 of the lug nuts on. Boy, the one guy almost got his hand run over as he ran out, but now let's find out what's going on with both crew chiefs. Dave?
Marty with Dan Stillman now. Dan, you made the safe and the smart play there. How tough is that to take, though, when you're so competitive?
Well, you know, we're in this for the long haul, you know, and this is only the 6th race of the year, and you know, we're going for the big picture, and we got to make sure we finish this race.
All right, let's go to Jamie for the other side of it.
And we're talking about tires now. We have about 85 laps left, 1 set left. Where do you guys stand?
I think we're in good shape. I mean, this set's got 4 green laps on it right now, so we're in pretty good shape. We can easily make it on 1 more fuel stop, you know, which is about 65 laps. So it should work out okay. The tire wear is getting better and better. At the start, now we were wearing the right rear off of it pretty quick, but that last set looked really good. So as far as tires go, we should be good to go to the end.
All right, Marty, and the team.
Distance here as let's take a look at the season comparison between these two, as Kyle has the 2 wins to none for Carl, and you see the average finishing position. And right now we can tell you that if it ended, Kyle would have a 35-point lead over Carl in the point standings, but this baby is far from over yet. As we get ready to go back to green flag racing, Shelby Howard got the Aaron's lucky dog. He's back on the lead lap. 25th out of 26 cars on the lead lap, and Carl Edwards will restart 22nd. Here we go. It is Logano, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, David Reagan, Kelly Byers. That's your top 5. Keep an eye on Carl trying to fight his way through this pack. This is the furthest he has been back all day. He hadn't been out of the top 3 until right now. It's Michael Annett right in front of Carl in the 15, and meanwhile up front, the 2 Gibbs guys are checking out.
Keselowski did not get a good restart right there. Lost some ground to him.
Looks like we may have a battle for the lead now as Kyle goes underneath. He's going to take the low line, and here we go with another lead change. That'll be our 12th between the 3 guys. And so far, Joey Logano has still led the most laps, but Kyle says, I'll pick up 1 more right here, thank you.
Seems like every restart, Logano gets a better run than Kyle Busch does, but this time they flipped it around. And boy, it just goes to show you that Busch's car will not run on those fresher tires.
I'll tell you what, though, these cars are very closely matched. You look at how they're handling, both of them look the same. They go through the corner about the same, and man, it's just going to be tit for tat. How about these Gibbs cars, Jamie?
Well, how about that? You said they look identical? They are. Remember last year, only the 20 car ran here, once with Kyle, once with Joey Logano. So Jason Ratcliffe said, I just took all the notes from the 20 car and we unloaded identical to how they were last year. They had to make some adjustments, but it was great. Andy, as a crew chief, can you imagine getting beat by your own setup with your teammate?
That's never any fun, Jamie. But, you know, they're in it for each other. Oh, we got one hard in the wall off turn 2.
Crash in turn 2. David Green is in the wall hard as he has backed it in almost the same identical spot as Ken Butler and having a hard time getting it turned around to get back.
Yeah, he's hit the wall pretty hard right there.
Sure, when I never got into the back of him.
He was 13th at the time of the crash, had a good run going in that 07 car.
I just noticed he stayed in the lead lap. He's been strong throughout the day, real consistent. And these restarts been tough for everybody.
Let's take a look. So, looks like he got a little help.
Okay, got a little tap from Bernie Lamar.
Survived that one.
No problem on that contact.
It's Joe Nemechek underneath him in the 87. And all of a sudden,
now a little more help.
Yeah. Let's go on board with Carl Edwards. Remember, he is fighting his way back towards the front.
He had a good look at this little incident. Yep, just ahead of these two. There he goes.
No problem for Carl, though, as the 07 stayed high on the track.
Yeah, easy for you to say.
Yeah, I know.
You got to wonder if that was some type of payback or something.
Casey Atwood's going to get the Aaron's lucky dog, and it looks like nobody really going to take a look except for possibly the 47 car of Michael McDowell. He comes down pit lane. We'll find out why when we come back.
Quick check of the motorsports calendar. The NASCAR Now Monday Roundtable. We're going to talk about a lot of the issues going on in the sport. Then it's off to Phoenix next Friday, Nationwide Series, 9 Eastern Time. And the Saturday Morning Cup Pre-Race Edition presented by 5 Hour Energy. And then the NHRA Gang qualifying Saturday and the finals next Sunday. That's upcoming on ESPN2. So you heard that old phrase, if at first you don't succeed?
Yes.
Dave was trying to tell us a story earlier. Waited for the lead change.
Yeah.
Went back to try and tell us the story again. Then a caution happened. Dave, here's your third swing at it.
I didn't drop my notes, Alan. So we're still there. Hey, DJ Edwards has been changing tires for 2 years, but he saw the job on television and decided that was the one he wanted in racing. He's a guy right there taking a cool drink. He's had a good day. 22 years old from Florida, but when he came into racing, he didn't know anything about the cars. And when he was hired by Roush, he couldn't even remove a spring from the car after a race. But he's become an excellent tire changer, and general manager Robbie Reiser wants to move him up to the Cup level. You can see the guys are they're all friends down here, but DJ's one of those guys that has gone through what you call the farm system here at Roush Fenway Racing. And even though crew chief Mike Shelley is going to hate to lose him, he's happy for him because he's going Cup racing, and this will be his final show, having good pit stops for David Reagan today. Wouldn't it be cool if they could end up in victory lane, get that 100th victory and all that good stuff too?
I'll tell you what, Dave, that pit crew has done a phenomenal job today to get that driver some spots.
Outstanding job. And a lot of people were asking earlier, we heard some rumbles about the 47 car who was running 7th. Why would he come in and pit under those circumstances, under that caution? Possibly, like you were talking about, maybe that team's trying to go the distance on fuel mile.
I think they're probably counting cautions. We've had plenty of them here lately. Michael McDowell has dropped back to 22nd place from 7th by pitting under the yellow. So you're riding along there under the caution. You're a driver. You're giving feedback to your crew chief. Sometimes some get a little more entertaining than others.
It could stand to not chirp the front tires in the center of the corner. I mean, when I get down in there, even right now, like, it's not bad with the back, but I shatter the tires in the center of the corner just for a split second. It just goes, and then it goes,
Sounds like one of those Andy Petrie interpretations. But anyway, what the deal is, when it's chattering the tire, it's going across the surface, and it's basically load, unload, load, unload. That's, you know, tire chatter. But Andy, he can probably give you a little bit better explanation on that terminology that Kyle was given.
What was that? Is that
I think so, Andy.
That sounded like some type of bird, didn't it?
Oh. Sounded like Andy's knees knocking.
I'll tell you what, you guys beating up on each other. You're going to have a lot of bruises after today. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Let's reset the top 5. It's Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, David Reagan up to 4th. Yeah, he has fought his way back. And Kelly Byers rounds out your top 5. Where's Carl Edwards? Well, he is all the way back in 15th. He picked up a total of 6 spots in 4 green flag laps. Here we go. Good restart for both of the Gibbs cars. Again, they do exactly what they did before, sort of pull away from Keselowski.
Keselowski doesn't get the good restart like the Gibbs cars do. You know, and plus he has to fight the lap cars just a little bit longer down into turn 1, and that causes just a little bit of gap there.
Well, let's talk about laps led, because Joey Logano still has the most at 65. Carl Edwards has led 45 laps. Kyle Busch is at 40 and counting. And remember those 5 bonus points. And here comes Joey taking a look on the inside, down into 3. And here we go again with our 13th lead change amongst the 3 drivers we just talked about.
Yeah, but look at Brad Keselowski behind him. Keselowski's running him down, and Andy was watching a little while ago. He said, hey, hope this guy can play the guitar, because he's got a good shot at winning this thing.
Yeah, I
Stay
wonder
consistent all day.
I wonder if he's been taking guitar lessons, because he has one here from last year. I think he wants another.
One here back in the June race, and remember, finished 3rd last week at Texas to turn his season around. Jamie?
Well, I'll tell you what, this car has gotten better and better. You guys are right. He hasn't had the best restarts, but the car, every time he pits, they're going down on that track bar just a bit. It's been the same adjustment all day. It's paying off. Remember, he won this race 1 year ago, Marty.
And while all this is going on, as we get the update from Jamie on Keselowski, what's happening with Carl Edwards? Well, he has gone from 15th up to 11th, guys. So he is trying to fight his way back into the mix. Let's see if we can pick him up here. And there's Stenhouse in the 16, and just a little bit further back. There he is on the inside of McClure.
It's been working pretty good these short runs. He gets a few cars, has a caution, and a little reset. Then he goes back past a few more. It's man, he's loose though. Still turning right.
Well, you can tell, just like you said in those restarts, he really strikes hard. He knocks 3 or 4 off. Then we had another caution. But this car has been so fast. But now he's way back in that traffic. And every driver will tell you, I cannot stand being back in traffic. It makes my car handle bad. Just have to see how it's going to affect Edwards here.
Take a look at Mike Bliss and Jason Leffler. They're duking it out for 6th place, and Bliss is going to take it away.
See Stephen Light in the 29 car. He's right there in the top 10.
Yeah, Light has a good run going, and there is Carl Edwards trying to work his way back into the top 10. Gets around Allgaier, puts himself into that 10th position. Then the lap traffic of Kenny Wallace, who's a lap down in 28.
P10, buddy. 9 more. Just keep that up.
Kenny Wallace is battling Jeff Green for that lucky dog spot should that caution come out again.
Yeah, right now Jeff Green does have that position.
Whoa, got a little contact with Stenhouse.
Yep, Stenhouse gets into
and Jeff Green, the guy that is in that spot, if the caution comes out to get that lucky dog.
And look at Carl as he comes up on the 16 car. He is like possessed right now trying to fight his way back. Stenhouse running in 9th. Remember, he started 43rd in this field. Has done a remarkable job. Let's get more on the 60 car from Dave.
Marty, interesting conversation at Roush-Fenway Racing this week. The 60 team talking to Jack Roush and asking for even more support from the company. Can you give us some more attention on this nationwide program? And he got that commitment from Jack. Whatever it takes, more wind tunnel time, more 7-post rig time, anything it takes to get to where the 18 has been running all year. Kyle's been tearing them up speed-wise. They know they're getting closer, and they've got a recommitment from the boss to do even more to catch him.
Picked up another 6 spots since the restart, so he is moving towards the front. In fact, he has been able to keep the gap at 6.7 seconds to the race lead. Be interesting to see now that he's got a little open track how that margin either expands or contracts.
Yeah, what Carl's talking about, he has the point leader had it coming in here, but he hasn't really been able to have that performance you've seen out of some of the Gibbs cars, and I think he's seeing that as being something that's going to keep him from winning this title if they don't close that gap performance-wise.
I think the Gibbs car definitely amazes us every single week about how fast the cars are. There's times during the race, Andy, where I'm looking down the monitor in the studio, and these guys are 2 to 3 tenths ahead faster than the second place car. They're that good. I think the whole field is wanting to catch those cats right there and find out what they're doing.
They are so closely matched today. Those cars are glued together.
And you got a dead rookie and a dead veteran right there, and they're running that close.
If everybody was with us back in Texas, they heard Jeff Burton say those very same things. It's up to all of us to catch up to those guys. They've set the bar now in the Gibbs Racing camp, and that way they've got to gain their or get their game up. As we take a look at the timing, last lap, Carl Edwards actually has narrowed the gap. He was faster, and we talked about if he could get some open track, would he be able to close? Well, now here he comes up on Stephen Light, so now he's going to have to battle for position.
Well, the last time, Logano went by to 30.18, and Carl was at 30.06, so, you know, he's driving like a man possessed right now. He's back there, 66 laps to go. They got one more pit stop coming, and he's got to get all he can right now, get that baby as close to the front as he possibly can. And they got one stop, and that's it. They don't want it to be under green.
He made pretty easy work of Stephen Light. I thought Light would give him a little more of a tussle, but in less than half a lap, he's picked up the spot.
Okay, now Carl's back in the top 10, and it shows you that was a good decision by Dan Stillman to bring that car down pit road. He could have had a loose wheel, wrecked the car, or, you know, lost spots and had to come in under green. So this is a good decision.
Absolutely. I mean, just like you said, that could have been a disaster. Chasing a point stand, he's out in left front, come on, and him being a Cup driver and getting hurt in a nationwide race, that wouldn't have worked.
I'm not getting beaten from the loose. Car's fine, keeps it better.
I got to be honest, guys, I couldn't quite hear what he was saying. Could you?
Says he looked like he's getting beat. He said the car's pretty fine, that Logano's just faster. So,
not by much.
Not by much, you're right.
You know, all right, somebody said that Joey is getting better, so that a little bit garbled there and figured it out. But Joey is running very well. In fact, Logano has now led 77 laps, and it looks like he may be the one to get the 5 bonus points, because those points would be cherished by Kyle in the championship chase. Right now, we've got 63 laps to go, and it is a Gibbs 1-2, and they have been duking it out pretty much all afternoon here at the Nashville Superspeedway. Who's going to win it? Will it be one of these two? Will they go 1-2, or does Carl Edwards get back into the mix?
The NASCAR Nationwide Series from Nashville. Coverage presented by Shell. 58 laps to go. You're looking at what's been the story of the day. The Joe Gibbs Racing twins, at least race car-wise. Yep. Joey Logano and Kyle Busch. They have changed the lead back and forth. They've dominated the top spot for most of the race. About the only time they haven't led was when they had trouble on pit road and Carl Edwards got out ahead of them.
Yeah, that's true. I expect Kyle Busch to get by Joey Logano here pretty short, but I think you'll see Joey Logano come back again and pass Kyle Busch, because Joey loves his car once he gets into the long run situation. So these two guys are checking out.
Talked a lot on NASCAR Countdown about this standalone Nationwide Series race being a day of opportunity for many. Kelly Byers driving the Kevin Harvick Incorporated 33. One of the guys we talked about as far as opportunity, and you see the scoring serial on Kelly.
What a great job Kelly Byers has done today. He's kept that car around 5th, 6th position all day long, got as high as 3rd. He has really taken advantage of this opportunity and has put himself in a good position to have a great finish today.
See, he's not run any bit lower than he started all day, as
there you go.
The previewed lead change happens.
There we go. And I think you're going to see Kyle Busch get out there and run for a while, but I think you'll see Joey Logano come right back in several laps as his tires continue to wear. It seems like his race car gets better. So I'm talking about Joey Logano.
It's kind of been a pattern we've seen throughout the race. Back to talking about opportunity for just a minute. You talked about the pressure on Stephen Light at the start of the day, driving the Richard Childress Racing 29 car, shares the car with Clint Boyer and Jeff Burton. Took the green flag today in the 16th spot, yeah. And right now he's running 9th.
And he is doing an excellent job as well. He's doing exactly what he is supposed to be doing in this race car. We know it's great equipment. He's a good young race car driver. He's got it inside the top 10. He's put himself in a good position to get another good finish just like Kelly Byers, so he's doing what he's supposed to do today.
And again, another guy who really hasn't run any lower than where he started in the race. Nothing but moving forward for the young Asheville, North Carolina driver. So another round of pit stops still to go. Remember that Carl Edwards had to make the extra stop, dropped him way back in the field. He's picked his way back forward to where Edwards is now running in 8th. And I wonder if his pit crew can help him close the ground on that 18 and 20 on that final stop. Marty, Andy, and Rusty, they've done a good job for him today, except for that one little hitch.
And everybody seems to have had at least one little hitch today, Alan, but we're going to find out. As you saw, he was closing down on Jason Leffler, and that is for position on the racetrack. Leffler is in 7th, Carl is in 8th. Of the top 10, 3 of those drivers have never won a Nationwide Series event, so we still have an opportunity for a first-time winner. But right now, it looks like Toyota may be getting their first win ever at Nashville because they're running 1-2 and very strong.
Well, it's looking that way right now, but I've been taught it's not over till it's over, and there is an opportunity. This track has really done some cool things. Like we talked earlier, 7 first-time winners, and what it is about this racetrack it does that, I have no idea.
Looks like Jason Keller is off the pace.
Get all the way off on me now.
What's going on, Jamie?
Guys, Jason Keller just reported about 2 laps ago that he heard a skip. Well, guys, they just went down the front straight, and I do believe he just blew up.
Well, we're on board with him right now, and all of a sudden, it looks like it's got a little life in it again.
A little life, but I'm not sure that he doesn't have a big problem here.
That's back running again.
Yeah,
sounds good there.
Back running again. He was 12th. He's dropped 3 positions to 15th.
Be interesting to know if he's got a battery going bad or something.
Sounds like exactly what it could be, Rusty, because when that battery starts getting low, the voltage just doesn't want to fire to the ignition.
Pressure gauge is steady. I got everything shut off. Fans, everything.
You see, now when he shuts those switches off, it does help that voltage come up, and then the ignition system can operate at least for a while until those volts go back down if he's got an alternator problem.
Jason in his 72nd start on concrete, the all-time leader in the Nationwide Series. All right, well, remember we talked about the 47 pitting earlier, out of sequence. Let's get an update from pit lane.
Yeah, Marty, Michael McDowell was running the top 10 all race long. So the question is, why did he come down on lap 145? Well, the team wanted to try to gamble. They were going to roll the dice. They came down, they put fuel into that car. They got it all in there, but then they realized that they miscalculated just a little bit. And rather than being 3 to 4 laps short, they're going to be about 6 to 7 laps short. That's not a gamble they're willing to take, but it still might work out, because when everybody else comes down pit road, it will be gas only for that 47, hoping to get out in front of everybody else.
Well, they could still get a couple of more cautions that would total up those 6 laps that they might need, but we'll have to wait and see how that works out. It would be a tough break because they were running 7th at the time that they made that pit stop.
Yeah, the thing is they're going to count on this thing going green, and man, you hate to find that calculation wrong after you made your pit stop and your decision, but it did open up another option. Like Shannon said, you can come in here to the next stop, the last stop under, if it is under green, and just get fuel. That'll gain you some time.
Well, you can see that the race leaders have caught up to some lap traffic. Meanwhile, there's Carl Edwards still trying to get around Jason Leffler, so he's got his hands full with Leffler. And he can't seem to get the job done. Well, we got a Stanley Steamer with the 10 car of Brian Scott coming back out. That may not last long.
Looks like that grill's been knocked in on the top, right around the Toyota sign above the word Camry there. Andy, looks like that closed up the opening.
Definitely closes it up, and you get damage on that upper part of the radiator ductwork. It just it closes that, throttles that air down, and makes the car run hot.
Take a look at Carl. He's trying to get underneath and finally gets Leffler cleared after about a 6-lap battle between these two. Carl is now in the 7th position. He is 9 seconds, however, behind the race leader, Kyle Busch. So right now, the 5 bonus points would go to Logano. Stay with us. This is far from over. We just went under our caution for the 8th time here for debris over in turn 3. Kenny Hendrick will get the lucky dog pass and get back on the lead lap for the 2nd time today. That's what they're looking at. Might possibly be some other pieces. That's one that we've found that they'll be going out to chase down. So far, Kyle Busch, though, out in front here with teammate Joey Logano right behind. Brad Keselowski, Kelly Byers, and Mike Bliss round out your top 5 at this moment. And we mentioned the fact that the 47 car, obviously Michael McDowell's team made that miscalculation. Well, here they get some caution laps.
Yeah, but they'll probably make a pit stop with these leaders. I'm not sure that they can give up those laps on the tires and make it work at this point. There's 40 laps to go. Yeah. So it may not work that way. Might just come down with these leaders.
Yeah, and we are in the window for the last pit stop for everybody else that is up front. So they'll definitely be able to go the distance. So, Jamie, it looks like everybody is coming your way, so you're up first.
And that includes our race leader, Kyle Busch. He's coming in to get his last set of tires. Remember, they're scuffs. They're going to put a little tape on the grill for some speed. Air pressure adjustments were made for the 18 car. Dave.
Teammate Joey Logano, I'm tight behind all race cars, not just my teammates, so I need that track bar to be put up at least a half a round to make my car a little bit looser, easier to turn. He'll make that change and 4 tires with Sunoco fuel. Meanwhile, up at the front, this is a huge reset for Carl Edwards. He comes in 7th. Can they pick him up? And he spots the pressure on to get all the lug nuts tight this time, but also to speedily get him through this pit stop. He'll put on 4 fresh tires. They'll make a wedge adjustment to try to make that car a little bit freer as well. Marty?
And take a look. Michael McDowell did come in. It looks like they took maybe just fuel or possibly 2 tires. We'll double check on that. Kyle Busch comes out in 2nd behind him. And there you see where Carl Edwards comes out 7th. So as we get ready to head for commercial break, we'll go over the wall. Jack Reese.
Oh yeah, come on. Get your some, baby. Get your some. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. Good right side, let's go. Let's have a good stop over here, let's go. Get him on, get him on, get him on. Go, 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 yeah! Good job, baby.
All right, we're back here at the Nashville Superspeedway with the money stop now in hand and some big changes. Michael McDowell is going to be your race leader. Now, remember, he stopped earlier. They miscalculated. We have checked with the pit crew, and yes, they took fuel only. So he is going to be out front, but then there's Kyle Busch right behind him, Brad Keselowski, and Joey Logano has dropped to 4th as a result of this last round of pit stops with David Reagan 5th. Where's Carl Edwards in this mix? He right now is shown in 8th position.
Guys, I think this is the time of the race where everything gets crazy. Everybody gets anxious. Cautions breed cautions, and I can just feel it right now that these cats feel like they're running out of time. Something's going to happen here.
Well, if it is going to get crazy, why don't we go full throttle for the first time today as they come out of turn 4. Keep an eye on McDowell. He's on harder, more worn tires than the guys behind him. Here we go.
Almost ready. Go. Green flag, green flag, green flag. Looks good all the way up. Clear, clear. 2 lanes down. Single file, clear to low. Still there, clear to the bottom. Clear, clear low right now. You're fine, got 3 or 4 right now. Still there. Clear, low. Clear all the way bottom. 24. 99's in your mirror. Keep coming, clear low, clear. Outside of 3 wide, 09, slow down there. Inside, they're all the way to the bottom and out back.
Well, Michael McDowell's going to lead his first lap ever in the Nationwide Series with 36 to go, and so far he's holding on, but he's got Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, and David Reagan trying to breathe down his neck.
Because Logano inside Keselowski.
Got it past for 3rd. Yes, sir. And here comes Joey. Remember, they have been very strong on these restarts compared to that 88 car.
He looked strong. That 47 car got going good on those tires.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe that either. I'm the one that said that guy better put 2 helmets on because those old tires, he's going to get run over. But, boy, these guys are not hooked up too good early. It's so cool out here. This tire's pretty hard. You're seeing a lot of slipping and sliding. And that's probably played into McDowell's hands right there.
And you got to hand it to Gene Need. He made this call with Michael McDowell, and it's working out great so far.
Take a look back at 6th place, guys. Carl Edwards, there he is, as he has worked his way back up 2 spots since the start of this last run.
He's just now inside the top 5, and he's taking that point lead back as they run.
Take a look. It's now 18 markers between Carl and Kyle. As it stands right now, we still have 33 laps to go. Big question is, can Carl fight his way back to the front of this thing and make it a 3-car race again?
I tell you, Kyle Busch can't do anything with Michael McDowell right now.
Well, take a look at the laps. I mean, McDowell ran a 30.12, a 30.12, and Kyle ran a 30.15 last lap.
I'm telling you what, this is a big surprise to me. I had no idea that 47 would be that good on those old tires. And hey, if he's made it 3 or 4 laps like he's made it now, that was definitely the right call, because he's not losing nothing at all.
Well, the way the track is rubbered in, and they're not wearing like they were to start. I mean, that's just what's changed enough that makes this decision work. Got a smoker here.
Oh, it's Kenny Hendrick. Is boy, he came close to the wall there, but he's got big problems. And
Someone blowing up in front of him.
Yeah, you got to wonder if he's putting oil on the racetrack right now. The caution is not out. I mean, they're still under green. I guess the first one to know will be Michael McDowell when he gets down there.
Yeah, here we go. Hold on. So far, so good. And again, McDowell looking very strong. 4/100ths of a second separates two, but here comes Kyle. Coming off at 2. Kyle gets a better dig, and he is heading into the race lead as they go into turn number 3. Can he make it stick? The answer is going to be yes. He's got him coming out of 4. But here comes McDowell back.
Here he
wow, this is amazing. McDowell. Oh, and a little bump from Kyle saying, you better give me a little more room, son. And McDowell says, I'll have none of that, thank you. And Joey Logano right behind. This could get real dicey. Finally, they clear.
I'm not sure McDowell's done here.
And look at Kyle wave and say, thank you.
Good job, buddy. Keep digging.
Well, all 3 cars really putting on a show for us here with 30 laps to go, and that allowed Keselowski to get back into the mix as well. So now we've got 4 cars.
Yeah, he had a little contact, though, with that 18 car and the 47. Makes me wonder, did maybe one of those fenders get bent in on Kyle Busch's car?
Well, it could have, because it looks like the left rear quarter panel, left side of the 47 car, McDowell, is caved in a little bit right behind the 7. See that car pull out the bottom?
You're right, Rusty, it is.
A little bit. Nothing's going to affect him, I don't believe.
Well, it's affected him enough that he's back to 4th, and meanwhile, it is back to the Joe Gibbs Racing Show. As it is Kyle Busch and Joey Logano back in a spot. As take a look at this battle going on. That is Stenhouse and Stephen Wallace, and that is for position. And Wallace takes over 13th, bumping Stenhouse back to 14th. So while we had the action going on up front, we've got these guys going after. That's Eric McClure. He's lapped traffic at the 66 is clearing. And he's opened up quite a bit of room now over the 16 car. So if you're just joining us here at the top of the hour, we welcome you to the Nashville 300. Glad that you're with us because it has been a very interesting race. 27 laps to go. We've had 5 different leaders, 18 lead changes, a total of 8 cautions. As look at Carl Edwards, he got himself into a bit of a bind, and Carl has fought his way back after a bad pit stop. He is now into the top 5, trying to get his way back into this battle for the lead. He has led a total of 45 laps, but that was much earlier in the race. It has been basically Kyle Busch and Joey Logano swapping the lead up front. And we have had action all over the track, so we're glad you're with us.
And Carl Edwards can see the lead now from where he is. I'm sure you're going to see all the 60 cars got now these last few laps.
He is only 2 seconds behind the race leaders, and that is David Reagan, his next victim on his hit list.
He'd like
there's the margin.
He'd like to see a caution right now to close this thing back up so he's got another shot at it. That's his teammate, David Reagan, in front of him right there. Both those cars come out of the same race shop. Looks like he's starting to run him down just a little bit, but take a look at left.
Well,
Left is wearing the bumper right off Edwards right now.
Edwards overdrove the car a little bit in 3 and 4. Lost some ground. I'm not sure that he's not maybe hurting these tires a little bit by running so hard.
Well, on board with Carl, and you get an idea. He's opened up a little bit of room now. There's the margin from outside.
Let's get him back now. Looks like he's got it back under control, but Leffler's hanging right there.
Top 3 cars that time. Busch, Logano, and Keselowski run exactly the same speeds that time by. All three of them. That was a very, very close.
Right now, Kyle Busch is at 63 laps. If he leads every lap in this race, he will pick up the 5 bonus points by 2 over Joey Logano, guys. That's how close that 5 points is going to go.
I'm not sure he's going to be able to hold off Joey Logano.
Well, we'll talk about points, guys. Carl Edwards just got it. That just by passing those cars, he's 8 points ahead right now in the points chase. Went from being behind to ahead again.
There you see the margin between first, second, and third. There is 4th place Reagan. 5th place, Carl Edwards, Leffler, and on back through the field. And poor Michael McDowell, I guess those tires have finally given up the ghost because he has fallen back. And McDowell.
How about Scott Lagacy here, too? He's passing McDowell. Has had a good run today.
Lagacy moves into the top 10, bumping McDowell back to 11th. And McDowell, remember, he's last took tires on lap 145, and we're working lap 203, so that gives you an idea. It works for a while, just not long enough. All right, let's get an update from Jamie Little on the race lead.
Well, Andy Petrie, you were wondering, did the 18 have any damage? Kyle Busch just radioed in and said, the 47 hit me. I'm definitely tight, guys. Let's see if he can hold off the 20. Dave?
And this year, Jamie, Joey Logano has had damage to his ego. We all know he has struggled in the Cup Series, but crew chief Dave Rogers told me this morning, he said, when my driver comes to the garage area, I want him to walk in, look around at the competition and say, boys, you're in trouble. I said, how are you going to help him get there? He said, here in Nationwide, we're going to make it fun for him. The kid is good, just watch him. And the driver confidence very high at the end of this race, and Logano with a chance to beat his teammate.
And Rusty, you were looking for that damage. I think you saw it.
Yeah, it looks like the 18 car at the top of the right front fender's got caved in about a couple inches right there, and that's going to hurt the downforce. But it's not a lot of damage, but it is damage.
And here's the thing. These two cars have been glued together all day long, virtually identical. That might just be the difference that Joey Logano needs to get this win. It's just a little damage on that fender for Kyle Busch.
Well, the leader with 20 laps to go has won 7 of the last 8 races. Scott Wimmer did it this time a year ago.
3,900.
And just as we say that, here comes Joey looking underneath. Kyle says, not yet, son.
Tell you what, Andy, you're exactly right. They've been that close. And that time by, Logano was a 30-31 compared to Busch's 30-38, about half a tenth.
It's going to come down to something really small here for these guys who's going to decide this, because they have been so close all day. Justin Allgaier on pit road.
Yeah, our in-race reporter, you see the donut on the right side as he's had some contact, and they are pulling out the fender, and he's got damage on the right rear as well. So Allgaier, who was running in the top 15 all day long, part of it in the top 10, is going to fall back now, as here comes the race leaders one more time.
Michael McDowell's car is really falling like a rock, unfortunately, right now. Those tires, you can tell, have really killed him. He's went from running like 30s all the way down to 90s.
Take a look. Carl Edwards has gotten around David Reagan. So Edwards is now 3.5 seconds behind the race lead. Can he reel those two in and make it a three-way race for the win? Brad Keselowski still in the mix. He's only a second behind the race lead. There they are. That gives you an idea just how much track he has to gain to catch up for Carl.
Marty, Kyle Busch just can't let Logano pass him, because if he gets behind him, he's going to lose all that downforce. He's got barely enough downforce in those front fenders with that damage to hold on right now. If he gets behind him, you guys well know that front end's going to start flying, and Logano will check out then.
Looks like Joey Logano has just kind of cooled his jets here for a lap or two to make maybe another big run at Kyle Busch. If he can cool the tires a little bit, might give him just enough edge to get by him.
And we just found out things got worse for Justin Allgaier. The tire rolled out of the pit box, and so we've got a problem. So let's got problems with the 20 car, Dave, all of a sudden?
2 things he just reported, Marty, to his crew. One was the car is tight. Crew chief Dave Rogers said, I don't care about that, just drive it. And right after that, Joey radioed in, the motor's doing something weird at the top end right there as he crossed the start-finish line. Doesn't know what it is, but you can see they went to box B. Now they're going to go to battery B. You can see he's already losing ground to Kyle.
The margin is now over 1/2 second. This is the front. Oh, we got a spin on the front stretch. Michael Waltrip, a former winner here at Nashville, turns it around, coming out of 4, down the front straightaway, and that brings out our 9th caution. The record here is 11.
Oh man, 15 laps to go. That's enough time to get some passing done right there. I don't know if I'd be staying out in the racetrack right now or not.
Waltrip was 17th at the time, and who does this help the most? Joey Logano, Carl Edwards.
Okay, crew chief, what are you going to do?
I think this helps Carl Edwards. I think they have to stay out right here. There's only 15 laps to go, and we saw Michael McDowell on tires that had quite a few more laps than this, and actually ran pretty good for 10 or 15 laps. So definitely got to stay out.
Well, you saw the reaction of the crew. They did not want to see that caution come out.
Now, you don't want to have to make this decision. You'd rather see it just race out on the track.
We got 20 cars in the lead lap right now, so that's going to be a pretty long outside line. Guys, that'd be a lot of passing to do.
I think this is really going to help Carl Edwards because Brad Keselowski has not been able to get going good on these restarts, and Carl might be able to jump on him early and have a shot at these two leaders.
And remember, the 20-lap rule, the former 10-lap rule, is going to come into effect here, where it'll be all lead cars on the lead lap. So the lap vehicles will be to the rear.
All right, the pits are open. Let's see what happens here.
Anybody going to be a taker?
See the green flag waving, but nobody coming.
Not so far. What about Michael
McDowell should.
Yeah, he needs tires.
I'd go ahead and take these tires here and go back.
He had dropped
a few of them.
He had dropped all the way back to 11th spot. This is a good move for him because, again, remember what we talked about with the 20-lap rule. All the lap vehicles will be gone. The 09 also coming in, but they are a lap down. In fact, he is going to get the lucky dog. So let's get caught up with the crew chiefs. Jamie, you're with Jason Radcliffe.
That's right, and his driver Kyle Busch saying that fender damage is making him tight. What does this caution do for his condition?
Hopefully it'll cool the tires back off and, put the car back under him for, a 10-lap shootout here or whatever. But yeah, we got into it with the 47 trying to get by him at the start-finish line, and it was just racing and knocked the fender in, so we're a little tight. But I think Joey, tucked up behind us, he's just tight enough that he can't get by. So, but it's some good racing though. Those two guys are having fun out there. I'm hearing that the 20 car's got maybe a high-speed miss or something, but I don't know. They might be bluffing. They might have something for us here at the end.
Well, Michael Waltrip is the one that brought out the caution. Kyle Busch said, "Thank you, Michael. It helps him." Shannon?
Well, Jamie, let's find out what's going on with that 20 motor. Crew Chief Dave Rogers definitely looking forward to that caution. But what's going on under the hood?
We're real happy with our GameStop Toyota Camry. We broke an alternator wire last week. I suspect we did the same thing here. We got a good interstate battery in it, though, so we'll be fine.
Do you have enough for the end, or is that going to be something that's going to cause you guys a problem?
No, I think we can make it from here. We have two batteries in there. We've been breaking some alternator wires, so we're prepared for this. Hopefully we can make it to the end.
All right, this 20 wants to get to victory lane. Bad. Dave?
Dan Stillman has watched his driver climb from 22nd to 4th. Can he get 3 more?
I don't know. It's going to be tough. The car's probably pretty good, but we used a lot of it up getting back up through there. So we'll just see. Kind of salvaged a pretty good finish out of this, hopefully.
All right, that's news from Dan Stillman down here in pit box number 1, watching over Carl Edwards. Let's go back upstairs, Marty.
All right, thanks, guys. Good reports. As again, we're talking about what's going on with Kyle Busch and Joey Logano. We heard about this high-speed miss. Let's check in with Tim Brewer in the Craftsman Tech Garage. Tim?
I'll tell you what I would do. I listened to radio a while ago. He said go from the A battery over to the B battery. He actually flips a switch right here, and it transfers that ignition system back over to a new power system, and it's got 2 batteries on board. A lot of the guys just use a big battery, but in this case, he's got 2 batteries in the car, so hopefully that'll fix it.
Well, we're going to find out when we come by. There'll be 11 laps to go. Pace car pulls off. It is Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Carl Edwards, David Ragan. That's your top 5. And oh my, Kyle slows him down and then gets on the hammer. And Joey times it with him, and look at Keselowski again, slow on the gun, and here comes Carl.
Carl's going to jump on him right here, getting into 1. Better get him cleared off turn 2, though. That outside groove's not quite as good as the bottom.
You're on board with Keselowski. Going down the backstretch. Carl looks like he may have him cleared.
Not quite.
He does now. Behind that is the 33 of Kelly Byers. He's trying to get back into the mix. Here comes Keselowski back on the inside one more time. Down into 1. And Keselowski says, Carl, I'm not going to give it up that easy.
Yeah, if Carl didn't get him cleared that first lap, I just didn't think he could make that outside groove work for a long period of time. Here comes Logano.
Logano going to try and take the lead, and it does. So obviously that switch they talked about pays dividends, and another lead change. And it is our 18th.
Go with the line here.
Man, this is not good for Kyle Busch because of that downforce, that right front fender damage. He didn't need this to happen.
That guitar.
So Joey Logano. Oh, a big crash along the front straightaway, including Stenhouse in 62 of Brendan Gaughan, the 15 of Michael Annette. So the caution comes out again.
Oh, no.
It'll be our 10th.
You lost it, overcorrected, and went right into your door. No gas, no gas.
So Stenhouse, who had a really strong run going in the top 15, is involved in this.
Man, look at all the damage you got right here. This car's been upside down. This is Joe Nemechek.
Take a look, boy.
Holy cow.
He was
Joe's
upside
car,
down.
Yeah, that car definitely, whenever you can see the roof flaps, take a look. Here we go.
Okay, he's looking inside of Michael Annette, and this wreck happens in front of them.
There is the 16. He's already turned around. That all happened in front.
Now, where's Joe Nemechek?
Oh, right there.
Gosh.
Who got in? And it was the 16 with a Stenhouse.
Gracious.
And he ends up going over. Take another look.
Okay, does that qualify? Everything's going to get crazy?
I think that's crazy. That's crazy.
I don't know if Stenhouse got any help there, but he just sort of saw him shoot left.
You know what's neat about that? Joe kept driving that car. He was still driving it when it came on the wheels.
He's still on the track.
I remember Dale Earnhardt Sr. did that one day.
Get out.
Turned over and brought it on back to the pit area.
I think he can finish the race, guys.
Did it at Daytona. That's where it was.
They got the trunk lid laying at the start-finish line off the 87 car.
Yeah, we're getting word from NASCAR that there is going to be a red flag situation because they are going to have to come out and clean up a lot of debris.
We got all the,
and there it is. Everybody's stopping over on the backstretch. So, with 8 laps to go, there you see the work going on in pit lane for Stenhouse. There's what's left of part of the 87 car.
That's a door, I think, off of Joe Nemechek's car.
Yeah,
part of the door off the right side.
It's not a door anymore.
A door, a deck lid, something missing.
That's incredible. I tell you, Joe was driving that car the whole time.
He sure was.
He came back on 4 wheels, and he missed the wall on the front stretch.
I'm glad he got out of that okay, good and safe, because that was scary looking, guys. It really was.
Man, it was.
So we have a red flag situation here with just 8 laps remaining at Nashville, and Joey Logano had just taken the lead again from Kyle Busch. So he will have the race lead when we go back to green flag racing, and it'll be a shootout for 8 laps. Let's go back, take another look at what happened here, and keep an eye for that 16 car coming shooting across the track right there.
Man, what a ride Joe took right here.
Stenhouse is right
roof.
Underneath him, so something definitely happened between these two.
Okay, now watch. Joe's headed for the wall here. And look, he still catches a piece of it.
Just good. All right, well, let's watch what the crew was doing. And
this is Jason Keller's crew giving Joe Nemechek a standing ovation. Good job.
Anytime you roll over and can drive him back to pit lane, you should get a standing ovation.
He's going to finish this race. I think NASCAR is taking a look at the car to see if it's got any damage that would keep him from finishing. Obviously, the sheet metal wouldn't, but if he has any damage to the roll cage, they might not want Joe to go back on the track.
Well, and remember, he is running on his own money right now, trying to get more sponsorship.
Get something to go on there, man.
All right, well, we're going to step aside for a break. There's the top 5, and we'll find out whether Joe's going to be able to get back into this as we get one more look at it. Wow, what a wicked ride for the 87, Joe Nemechek.
The NASCAR Nationwide Series at Nashville. Coverage presented by Shell under the red flag with 8 laps to go. I've said it. I'll say it again. You don't know what's going to happen in these things until they're over. Can you believe this?
That was absolutely phenomenal. Joe Nemechek took a heck of a ride, but like Andy and Rusty are talking about, he kept driving that thing.
Wait a minute. Not the guy flipping. Logano passing Kyle Busch for the lead inside 10 to go.
I'm still mesmerized by Joe Nemechek driving that race car to the ground. But, yeah, we got a heck of a race lined up here. But I think we need to keep a good eye on Brad Keselowski. I think he's the cat in the catbird seat right now, especially with this restart opportunity. If he can keep up, he might be able to get this thing to victory lane.
Well, if you're liking the end of this one, there's lots more NASCAR Nationwide Series racing happening all over these United States with tickets available. It's Phoenix next Friday night under the lights out in the Valley of the Sun, then Talladega. Followed by night races at Richmond and Darlington, off to Charlotte for a night race as well. A lot of NASCAR Nationwide Series racing coming up over these next days, weeks, and months here on ESPN and live at the track. On to the red flag, Joey Logano and his crew chief Dave Rogers conversing.
You've been getting some fantastic restarts lately. We just need one more. Brought this thing out. Kind of embarrassed to admit that Mark explained all that crash going on the front stretch and I missed it all. Must have been over there watching you in turn 3 go by that 18 car.
So Dave Rogers didn't see all the excitement on the front stretch. He was watching his car take the race lead. So now that the field is rolling again and we're back under the yellow flag, Joe Nemechek's crew can begin to do some work on that 87 car. Jamie, what are they saying?
Well, Derek Finley, his crew chief down here, all the NASCAR officials are here. Derek, what are they telling you? Can you guys go back out?
I don't think they're going to let us go back out, no.
So I guess that answers the question. Your driver's okay?
Yeah, he's fine. He wants to go back out, but the roof flaps are damaged, and I don't think we'll get out there.
All that damage, and they're talking about the roof flaps on top as you see the officials trying to push him down, guys. I think that is a day for Joe Nemechek. We'll definitely have to get to him, Marty.
All right, thanks, Jamie. The bottom line on that is a racer wants to race, period.
Man, they ought to let him finish the race.
I mean, if he pulled on the racetrack, I'll guarantee you the fans we got here would stand on their feet and go crazy. I mean, anybody can flip it over upside down, keep on driving, drive it back to pit road.
What he should have done is just stay on the track. Then they couldn't have looked at it.
Yeah. They got these rules, though, and these roof flaps are pretty doggone important.
Yeah, if he gets in another incident, they want to make sure everything works.
Well, and just in case you are joining us now, let's take you back and show you exactly what happened as the 16 shoots down and gets into Nemechek, and there he goes.
And that was a surprise. Nemechek never saw that one coming. A 16 car come off the wall and just drove right down in there. I don't know how he got so loose, Ricky Stenhouse, but it happened.
Yeah, I don't know if Stenhouse got help and that what's turned him, or if the car just got loose. See, there is a car there, but I can't tell from the angle whether or not it was that caused it.
That was one of the first shots we've seen of Stenhouse come off the wall. That abrupt down into the right rear quarter panel on Nemechek.
All right. Let's talk about some other guys that are having good runs as we've got a moment here. The 6 car, David Reagan, is in 6th place after an early penalty on pit lane. Dave?
And Marty, last night this team met at Reagan's motor coach for 2 hours because they all wanted to work on the car. And after you said we made a lot of changes that amounted to a Hail Mary, Mike Kelly, that Hail Mary seems to have worked out well today.
Yeah, the car, when we unloaded yesterday, it wasn't good at all. We really struggled with it, couldn't get it to handle. David wasn't happy with it, and we had to stay on it all afternoon. We worked on it all last night, worked with my engineer, worked with the other teams, come up with a setup to make him a lot happier today. Car's been good. We got a penalty early, and he's drove his butt off to get back to the front. We'll get a good finish out of this today.
They're working their way back into the top 5. Jamie?
Pop Siri Sr., crew chief for Brad Keselowski, worked your way from 19th to 3rd. What can you tell this kid to get good starts? It seems like you guys have the car to get it done.
Yeah, it seems like we're about equal with them. I don't know if the car's good enough to beat them, but seems like we can stick with them pretty good. But it takes us a couple laps to get going. I think Kyle's got the same situation, but we'll see what happens here. We got 5 to go, and hopefully we can do something with them.
All right, guys, let's see if this restart's any better.
It will be a 5-lap shootout when we come to the green flag. It is Joey Logano in front of Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Carl Edwards, Kelly Byers, David Reagan. That is your top 6. Strap in, hold on. We're back to green at Nashville. Logano gets another great restart, but this time Keselowski also gets a pretty good start, able to hold off Edwards. Down the backstretch and already about a 2-car length lead. Here comes Kyle as they go through 3 and 4.
Kelly Byers working hard on Carl Edwards are getting
there's
together here at
contact.
the start-finish line.
Oh, and he's going to go down on the apron. Byers trying to take advantage of this opportunity in the Kevin Harvick machine, and he is going to take the spot. So Carl Edwards gets bounced back a position.
He's clear. Kelly Byers is.
Put him into 4th place. 4 laps remaining here at Nashville. Take a look also. There's Stephen Light trying to get around as he's going underneath the 1 car of Mike Bliss. That is for 8th on the racetrack. Bliss is coming back. You're not missing anything up front. It is still Logano.
There's Stephen Wallace behind these two looking for an opening, running in the top 10.
Wallace is 10th. He's got an underneath line now, and he's going to try and take Wimmer. Or Light, I should say. Down the backstretch and into 3, and those 3 are still duking it out.
Here comes Legacy now, trying to get into the mix.
Boy, this is where if you're going to get brave, you got to get brave big time right now. With 3 to go, you got to get all you possibly can. And it looks like the race is right there right now. 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Up front, it is still Logano by half a second. So that's why we're staying right with this for the moment, because these guys are literally leaning on each other here in the late closing laps. There you get an idea of the gap between 1st and 2nd. So Joey Logano in front of his teammate.
White flag right here, babe.
Joe Gibbs, with the white flag out, has 1-2 finishes twice in the Nationwide Series. And guess what? Kyle Busch has been on the 2nd place side of both of those, and it looks like it may be the 3rd. The points race is definitely going to tighten up between Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch, but right now the battle is for the race win, and it looks like it's going to be Joey Logano coming through turn 4 for the final time. The youngster is going to pick up his first win of the 2009 campaign here at Nashville. Play the guitar. Take a look at the battle further back as well, as this is really something.
Yeah, baby, get you some of that. Yeah.
Congratulations from the crew, and there is a very happy Joey Logano. Behind him and Kyle Busch, it was Brad Keselowski 3rd, Kelly Byers 4th, Carl Edwards 5th, Leffler 6th, David Reagan 7th, Mike Bliss 8th, Stephen Wallace 9th.
But please do not tear up my body.
Please don't tear up my car. What a great job by this whole team. Dave Rogers right there with the crew. Joey Logano drove a really smart, aggressive race to get that win.
I tell you what, guys, Joey Logano really needed that. Really been struggling of late in that Cup car. This is a big morale booster for that entire team.
Shannon?
It's hard to believe it's been since July in Daytona that the 20 team has been to victory lane. Down here with Dave Rogers, crew chief for this team. How satisfying is this win today, Dave?
I can't tell you. This is great. Feel like we're back. You know, Joey's confidence is up. Team's performing well. I got to hand it to all the Joe Gibbs Racing guys at the shop. This is a brand new race car that we built after we wrecked at Vegas. They put it together in a month and come out here and win a race. Got to thank my engineers. We were terrible in qualifying trim yesterday, and my 2 engineers, we stayed up till midnight trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to get this thing to qualify? And Mike LaRusso and Ron Denton, they came up with some good ideas, and we qualified outside pole and won it. So I'm happy. Can you tell?
Yeah.
Happy Easter.
You too. Congratulations. A lot of hard work has paid off here today. Jamie?
Solid effort today for Kyle Busch. Led so many laps and got another top 10 finish. It's been a while, Kyle, but what happened on that restart with Michael McDowell?
I just don't have a car that'll go in the beginning. Joey had a better car in the beginning of the run. Want to thank Z-Lines, NOS Energy Drink, Toyota, all the guys that work on his team, make it what it is. Just didn't have it today.
All right, Kyle Busch gained some more points on your leader, Carl Edwards. Marty?
Yes, he did. The margin is down to 23 between the 2 of them, with Carl still maintaining the lead. A career best finish for Kelly Byers. He takes advantage of that opportunity with the KHI number 33 as he comes home in a solid 4th place finish. What a great race this turned out to be. 2nd win in his nationwide career in just 24 starts for Joey Logano. Jamie, you've got Carl.
And Carl Edwards finishes 4th today. What a hard-fought effort. Take us through some of your day, Carl.
Yeah, it was a lot of work, but you know, congratulations to Joey. After last week, I never would have thought I'd be cheering so hard for Joey, but he did a good job, and we didn't lose too many points. He had a bad pit stop and went back. Had a great race with Kelly Byers there at the end. I mean, if that guy doesn't get a full-time ride, you know, I don't know who deserves to, but he does, that's for sure. So got to thank Save-A-Lot, Scott's, and and Ford, and our thoughts are with everyone that suffered losses here in Murfreesboro. But a fun day.
It was a hard-fought battle with the 33. He actually finished 5th behind him. Marty?
And there is Kelly Byers, as he has had a great run. Congratulations to him on getting the goal that he wanted. I mean, he wanted to do a good job, and he did. All right, let's go down to victory lane. There he comes.
And Joey, I just want to tell you the guitar has 2 batteries, 2 ignition boxes, and 1 motor, and that's you. Congratulations.
We needed all of them today. I guess we had an alternator problem, but the GameStop Toyota was good from the start. You know, we kept loosening up. I think the track was getting tighter, it kept going, and Dave Rogers, this whole crew, I tell you, it's awesome to have him back. And it's been too long since we had this win, that's for sure. I just want to thank all the fans and for everyone coming out here, and it's just awesome. I'm excited.
Second career victory, and crew chief Dave Rogers delivers fun for Joey Logano.
All right, David, thank you. And next week, it's On to the Mile out in Phoenix, Arizona. Friday night coverage coming your way at 9 Eastern Time on ESPN2. Join us for that. If it's anything like this one was, it's going to be exciting. Coming up next, the NCAA Frozen Four, presented by ESPN, presented on ESPN by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. So excited for the great race in the hockey, I'm running over myself. Miami of Ohio versus Boston University. Drop the puck, face it off for a national championship. So congratulations once again to Joey Logano. Yep. Terrific performance by the young man.
Outstanding day for Joey Logano. Great run by Scott Lagasse Jr. Gets a top 10 finish. And great job by Kelly Byers.
Logano in victory lane for the second time in his NASCAR Nationwide Series career, outrunning Kyle Busch, who's been Mr. Everything in NASCAR lately. Congratulations to the young Connecticut native. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So long from Nashville. See you next week in Phoenix.